I'll leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on Octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The feels not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Boris.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeChain, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us a solid. You also find the link to the YouTube chat, as well as the abstract chat linked up above. And we got a stream drop mobile. It is working again. So it is live from the jump for all those collecting, I don't know what they're called anymore, gems or something. It's probably completely worthless activity, but you can do it while you multitask. So don't hold it against me if they never even have a TGE. Reminder though, that actually is backed by Animoca and a few others. So I don't know, maybe everyone else forgets about it and we end up racking up some extra tokies as a result. But as always, I'm Cap Jim, I'm a co-host, Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins exception risky. Go to 0 to moments notice. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Know that Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time here in the show. We are not financial advisors. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, and a little bit of education along the way. GM Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM to all the I'm doing well. GM to all the folks out there, Machiavelli, Von Frunten, always holding it down, RDL, Thomas, Jeremy, all our good friends out in the streets, Mesh, Peace Frog, Green Edge, thank you for the early tip. Von Frunten, thank you for the early tip. As always, Cap, thanks for the early tip. I think we just passed 69 Pengu back and forth and slowly lose money to gas every other day, but we're farming the abstract. And then over in the X chat, as always, like GM, Joey Vowels, Drew, if you were around today, Drew, you should jump up the stage at some point here.
Lucky Balls. He's now affectionately known as Lucky Balls.
We need two things we need for Drew. Number one, we're going to make your day even better because while it's wonderful winning a BAYC, we still owe you a BZ Claw Draw. And so we are more than happy to do that for you. On top of that, so we'll get our guy Drew up here. Lucky Balls Drew. Couldn't have happened to a better person. So if you're able to make it up this morning, jump up at some point after or during the cold open, and then we'll get you on here. We got to talk about that.
We got Lucky Balls Drew, and we got Birthday Balls Machiavelli out in the crowd today. So happy birthday, Machiavelli.
Birthday balls. Did not see that one coming. Welcome to Coffee with Captain, where we're talking about birthday balls. But what we're gonna do today for Drew in a minute here, and Cap, a couple cold open things, and then Drew, if you could stick around for just about 10 minutes. One, we're gonna ask you all about what happened yesterday. Amazing moment if you missed it. Our guy Drew here won a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Like, I am somebody who always celebrates other people, but I'll save it. I'm gonna save it. But Cap, before we get into it, into the cold open, everyone give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room. We're gonna do Drew's BZ draw this morning, which is long overdue for the $50 claw, which you should be using. We're gonna talk about Pirate Nation sunsetting. We're gonna talk about proof of burb, which I think is pretty interesting. We're gonna talk about wrecked with no rewards, but I'm still gonna buy their drink because I like the sparkling water.
Can we get a quick one on that? Do you think it's a test?
Yeah, I do.
Solely a test. That was my read. Is like they're doing this just so I think maybe the optimal time, the right time, big partner. I think they almost certainly sell out quickly again, and then they could say, "See, people buy our drink without being incentivized to do."
There's one of two things there, and we'll get into it. But there's one of two things: either they're doing it on their own volition, or somebody else, a big vendor or a big partner, is saying, "Let's see what you got here." So, I'm going to be buying because I support the hell out of wrecked. But Cap, you got a new PFP going on for the time being. Should we save this for the burb proof of burb, or you just want to talk about your beautiful PFP you got rocking this morning?
Yeah, I mean it's two things I sent out yesterday. I think probably similar thought on your take with Drew and good things happening to good people. I love also support, celebrating others' wins. Some are more deserving than others. This one, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a more deserving individual for all they do, not just for the Bored Ape Yacht Club, but the Web3 community at large. I said, $600, $50K on a first day of Wheel of Fate. GG Drew. It is provably fair with proof of play, but sometimes the karma gods take control of RNG, and absolutely love to see when people give, and eventually they get that back in tenfold. So yeah, big fan, happy to see that. And on the burb, I didn't see nearly enough people talking about this yesterday. I saw obviously some Moonbirds holders discussing it. Really didn't see anyone else talk about this. I think it's a really big deal, not just for Kaido. I think it's the future of InfoFi. I think InfoFi, first of all, is just a horrible name for what this is. But when you talk about contributions, yes, talking about stuff on the timeline, that's one thing. Holding assets, like there's a lot of purchasing product. There's a lot you can do to be a supporter, a contributor, an ambassador. And I think this on-chain data, like this is a big unlock for me. So yeah, I did change the PFP for a moment. We'll actually flip back probably before the end of the show, right after, just so I can we got to keep those swaps under 24 hours. But I said the last time I swapped from this ape I minted to something else that wasn't an honorary was the OG Space Burb that I bought on mint day. Had it up for about 24 hours. And then, so I said, fitting that the second temporary PFP swap is to my Grail Mythic in celebration of not just the campaign launch, but proof of ownership. And I'm not saying they have I don't even know if they can do this, like a tie-in to PFP utilization on X, but I think that's something else we might see in the future as well, is rewarding those who help support the brand 24/7 with whether it's their PFP or their banner. You'll notice if you look at my banner, I'm not getting, there's no incentive for either of these right now, but I swapped my banner to the Wheel of Fate for ApeChain. They put it out there. They asked, it's something I'm supporting, we're going to talk about. So I will play those games without any expectation per se today, but I do believe that we're seeing a glimpse of how InfoFi evolves and incorporates on-chain activity and on-chain holdings. So
I'm stoked on it. I'm stoked on it. And like you said, like, I mean, I talked about InfoFi needing more information and data points. I talked about the beauty of having an NFT community on there. I think this is a bullish thing for InfoFi that they're starting to implement something like this, because it shows that you're not just, you don't just talk about it, you be about it. And I think that that's an important aspect. So bullish on my end for sure. And excited to see where that evolves and maybe hit on that in a minute as well. But I think more data points into InfoFi, the better. And it helps give a more full feeling of who is talking about your brand. I could see even more disproportionate rewards where I wouldn't say like being a whale should reward you more. Like they probably have it falling off a cliff at some point. But like, because I saw myself, I started off, I didn't have my assets in the right wallet. I was at 23 and then I plummeted to like 35 immediately because people started putting their assets, and I have one oddity and one mythic. That should be the case because somebody who is putting their money where their mouth is a higher. It's like the concept where I talk about a Yankees game.
I was wrong then. I thought you might actually climb, but you were right. There was just a lot more that hadn't linked their holdings yet.
Yeah, it was like, it's funny because that was like, I know we had two different takes on that when we initially had the conversation where I was like, yeah, I'm going to fall like a rock. And you're like, no, man, I think you'll go up with the holdings. I'm like, yeah, but I think at some point it still says 23 on the leaderboard on 30 days. So maybe I actually didn't fall like a rock and I was looking at the wrong leaderboard actually. But either way, we'll see what happens as we go. It's not going to stop me from talking about things organically as I go to potentially do that. But I think I might have fallen on the 3 month is what I'm looking at.
And I know some people mention this, but again, also not nearly as much, that this all but confirms there's going to be a Burb token, right? It's on the pre-TGE leaderboard. It's not just another campaign. And I know a lot of people have this more people did talk about. Yeah, now I see all the, like yesterday, Doodles didn't have his proof of ownership, nor did Eli. Now all top 5 are showing proof of ownership on that leaderboard. My favorite was seeing JJ on the fell down a little bit, was in the top 10 yesterday. JJ now is at number 11 on the
Are you looking at 3 month though? Like, so 30 days tends to matter.
I was looking at, that was 3 month. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm looking at 30 day, which is what tends to matter, and that is where I am because they tend to do rewards on a monthly basis. Maybe it won't matter, maybe it will, but that's where I'm 23 on that one, and my proof of ownership hasn't done much for me. But it's a cool token too to see proof of ownership in there, and I think this is like, it's the example I gave in the Yankees game. Like, somebody who talks about the Yankees online isn't necessarily a bigger Yankees fan than someone who has season tickets and shows up every day.
JJ's going to have to start talking about the Burbs again. Like after, doing this for years relentlessly, there's, unless they've sold, I don't know. Maybe they sold, but as far as I know, still rocking that gold Burb. And what a story that's going to be someday from JJ's perspective.
Yeah. I mean, it's, man, it just goes to show sometimes like you get lucky and bailed out on certain things, not JJ specifically, but it's like I sold my Moonbird at a massive loss because it just wasn't anything happened with it. It was sitting idle and I looked like a genius play for a long time, and maybe now not so much.
GG Dort on the list. I did climb a little bit. At first I thought I was off the list. Yesterday, Steve, I was 0.42. So if you're just seeing this for the first time here, the second column is mindshare. This is what has been on his InfoFi charts for a while. You can see Steve's 0.63 mind share. I'm just behind him at 0.54 mind share, but we both have this proof of ownership because we hold in my case, a mythic, and Steve's a mythic and an oddity. And that boosted his contribution from, and I don't know the exact formula, we probably won't know, but it boosted it from 0.63 to 0.81. Mine went from 0.54 to 0.69. Nice. Look at that. Dude, I don't know what this means, but there's definitely something happened in the universe. I hit level 69 in Discord today. I have 0.69 mind share. Had a great pool day Sunday. I don't know, man. Something the planets are aligning apparently.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do this though. I know we got Drew up here.
I make some childish joke and you just plow right through it. Yep, for sure. Let's move on.
No, I just realized I was like, oh, we'll save this, and then we let Drew stick around and didn't actually go to him. So like, look, Drew, we got 2 things to take care of. We got 2 pairs of business here. Before we do a BZ claw draw for you, which you are rightfully owed. I was going to say this earlier. There aren't a lot of people who, like, I always feel excited for other people when they have wins, because unless it's like a scammer or grifter, generally speaking, I'm happy to see other people winning. I don't know that I've ever seen a situation where somebody won something of such high value that was so many people were going for, and it was just universally celebrated. So before we get like deep into like sort of like the what happened, well, actually, before we get deep into what happened yesterday, Drew, how did you feel about the reception yesterday of seeing everybody just be like, damn, I'm happy for this guy, instead of everybody being like, oh, fuck, you go, oh, it's gone in day one, or everybody was happy. So like, maybe if you don't mind kind of telling the story and how you were feeling about the reception yesterday, because I'm excited. Like, I just want to be AYC.
Yeah. Still kind of in shock. I think it's awesome. I think it speaks to the testament of the community that they were so stoked that my balls won me something, which is super awesome. I've never really won shit in my life, so for my balls to clutch it through, feeling like no other.
Expensive ball too.
But it's,
I mean, do you even know how many purchased the gold ball before you did? How many sales were there?
I think there's two. So what I did was I was listening to y'all spaces when I think Farmer was on here, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna set the floor at like $600, which is 1,000 apes. So I was like, all right, let me just get some ape over to my hot wallet and start placing collection offers. So I placed a few on the silver balls. I got 4 of those, and then I placed 2 1,000 on the gold balls, and immediately they people were just accepting the offers. And so I think the first one was nothing, and the second one did it. Website glitched. I was like, nice, probably a lot of people. And then refreshed, and it said BAYC, and I was like, holy fucking shit, no fucking way. Like, no way. Still insane. Still like just absolutely insane. And yeah, everyone was just super stoked. I mean, again, like, not to be like super cheesy, but for everyone crying on the timeline that floor price doesn't go up, I mean, I don't know if you just participate in the ecosystem, whether you're an ape or not. Like, I don't know, shit happens. Like, there you could still get a bored ape and a mutant ape. Literally anyone can, by getting the multi balls on the floor. I think it's like $1.50 right now for a spin, and I think you have a 1 in like, I can't remember the chance. It's still pretty high because there's still a lot of multi balls, but like there's still opportunities out there, and it's pretty fucking fun.
So did I hear it right? You were listening to Coffee with Captain. You heard Simple Farmer. You figured out some price action, and you went out and bought after listening to, like, because for us, like, we're going to give away, not just are we going to do the BZ Claw with you today. Spoiler alert, if things go as planned, tune in Monday to Coffee with Captain. We're going to start a pretty big, hopefully, campaign that's going to be pretty fun for our audience. But you were listening to Coffee with Captain, went out and heard Simple Farmer on Coffee with Captain, went out and bought the balls, and then spun it and won a BAYC. Is that like kind of the order of operations here?
Yeah, literally, because I did not participate in the Spotlight campaign because they did not support delegate wallets. So I was like, you guys are crazy. So I had 0 balls airdrop to me, or I couldn't claim any. So the only way I could do anything is to get on secondary, and that was that was the order of operation.
Dude,
Incredible.
Gets me so pumped up. It's like, so many people, like, it's not, it's somebody winning who, again, the community genuinely feels good and supports. And like, I mean, dude, so is your plan? Are you?
I'm sorry, I'm just reading this out. I didn't realize you got multiples. Was this? Sorry to cut you off. I just saw that he was placing offers on silver and $1,000 wape offers on gold. Got 2 gold and 4 silver. Was this the first gold spin or the second?
It was the second. So yeah, it was all or nothing.
Just incredible, man. So the big question, and Steve, I'll hit it right back to you. My bad for the stepping on you there. Are you, not to put you on the spot, are you planning on rocking the ape? Going to PFP it? You going to sell the thing and cash out your 50K, 60K? What's the plan? Do you know yet? To be determined.
TBA. It is an aqua ape as well. So if more fate was on the side, it's just ironically
Aquas
just
keep
super
winning.
Hilarious.
Aquas keep winning. Yep, it's only fitting that an
Aqua's
aqua mutant won the aqua ape. That's if you don't believe in karma and good deeds, and like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I'm not sure yet.
Well,
Well,
look,
obviously, no pressure, no sell pressure. Big win either way. It is a solid ape. I would agree that Aqua sets it off, and yeah, I just pumped, genuinely pumped for you, and I agree with Garga. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. So big congrats.
Yeah, thanks. No, I appreciate it. I mean, literally, everyone just saying the nicest things. It literally means the world to me. Definitely not selling it. Even to y'all's earlier point with Spencer, the team, and Moonbirds. Like Moonbirds and that whole ecosystem is now my second largest investment because I've definitely just been switching the mindset to investing in 2 leaders.
Smart.
And I don't even really like the Moonbird art for me personally, but I like everything that they're doing. And yeah, it's yeah. I think we're at a pretty pivotal moment, right? We're gonna see teams shine that are supposed to shine, and teams that aren't, they can kick rocks.
For all this crazy shenanigans that happen in this space, and as I say this, someone's probably gonna check me with something dumb that just happened and counterpoint, but it really does feel like we're maybe getting into a season where strong quality leaders are being rewarded. They're getting the attention, the mind share, the price action. I mean, I just like you mentioned Spencer, obviously Yuga, Brett, that we're big fans of, talking about. We'll probably hit on that drop here in a bit. Like these founders that have been really, obviously got to include Luca and Pudgy's. Like it seems there's the established ones have kind of separated themselves or are separating themselves, and I'd love to see it. There's a lot of others. I shouldn't have started naming names because now I'm going to get Chimpers upset with me and everyone else who's been Klanos and there's a lot of teams that have been really building for years, and it does seem like more attention and focus is going to them as opposed to the brand new mint that's happening with Anon founders, and it's just purely speculation. So that is. I don't know if we've had this conversation yet, but I think you might be onto something there, Drew.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a good chance. And honestly, I mean, look, I'll play some multi-balls today. There's some I have 1 silver ball that I'm holding back. I believe there's a mutant at stake there. I don't think an ape, but I got to double check on the prices on that one. I know that they're posted somewhere. So I got 1 silver ball sitting there. I have my multi-balls, which I figured out there is a mint from the contract trick that I know you shared yesterday that saved me a lot of time on some spins. I won 10 ape and got a bunch of no-win tickets.
Hey.
I don't recall if they said that there was a prize for the no-win tickets if you burn them, or if there's some advantage to burning them. But
they suggested to burn.
Okay,
I was suggested.
I kept burning. Now you made me think maybe I shouldn't have been burning, but yeah, I was just. You can see I did 200 balls yesterday. I gave up after because even the shortcut, you still can't do like all at once. You got to spam clicking, and I did it for a while and then threw in the towel. I'm wondering. I guess they kicked it off at yesterday, like a little after 10. So probably that's when the day resets, if I were to guess. I'm gonna do my silver spin now on stream, if you don't mind, Steve.
Yeah, do your silver spin on stream. Let's see what happens. So Cap is now live spinning Wheel of Fate. He's gonna win something big. I feel it.
Mutant. It is. It's a mutant. It's gonna be a mutant. It's nope, never mind. Just kidding.
No prize. But yeah,
I don't mind it. I didn't
burn the ticket, Cap. Burn the ticket. You want to burn the tickets.
It's burned.
You're burning the tickets. It counts for something later. So make sure you burn every single ticket that you have because it'll be used for redacted later.
That's alpha. Burn your tickets. Don't hold them.
And you can burn them all at once, so you don't need to burn them one at a. Oh wow!
Oh, really?
I am gonna need to burn them one at a time. So it might be a minute here, Drew, until we get you to coffee with Captain because I need to burn.
A mask.
Yeah, I just hit burn and I have 49 no-win tickets. So Cap, I'll hand it to you to stall for. It's probably gonna be about 5 minutes of burn. So I will burn these one at a time next time. But
the day resets 24 hours after you played your last multi-ball. Okay.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, Frosty's with Ape Control. He made a really good dashboard to see how many have been minted, burned, and what are the prizes left, and the statistical odds of your chances of winning the Ape and Mutant with the multi-ball, which are getting better and better because people are burning through these things.
I mean, the thing is like what I would say to people is there aren't a lot of reasons not to play. Now, again, the minting process is a little cumbersome for a lot of people because they're growing one at a time. Guessing they're going for those transactions that they're trying to get on the chain.
It's probably like 5 transactions per single ball by the time you mint the ball, spin the ball, and burn the ball. Maybe more than 5.
Yeah, it's a lot of transactions.
It's about 12 clicks. It's about 12 clicks in my Rabby wallet.
Did you now Machiavelli, are you using any of the shortcuts? Like I minted from contract, and yeah, it took some time and you had to spam click, but I could just like listen to a podcast and just like click versus like.
Well, I have a crypto device. I don't have any crypto on my computers or anything like that. I have a crypto device and it doesn't have any socials on it or anything like that. So it's been really annoying for me because I literally, and then Farmer onboarded me to the Rabby. And listen, I'm not complaining or anything like that because I'm here to participate and do it. But yo, it literally, like I was going everywhere and I just became muscle memory within like 15 minutes. And I don't even know how many times I tapped that screen, but roughly 2.5 hours to do all 500. And then, and of course I was having meetings and stuff too, but I tried to not quit clicking. And then about 30 minutes for the spins. And then I too didn't burn the tickets because I was like, I think I'm supposed to collect these. And then I asked Farmer and he's like, no, we want to see you burn them, but burning them means, and then Spend also told me the same thing on the timeline. You want to burn each ticket because it means something for redacted later. And I was like, all right, so this is the alpha. So if any of y'all want to put them out there for like 0.1 or something, I'll probably buy your red tickets too and burn those as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just burned about 50 red tickets. I burned my 10 ApeCoin that I claimed and grabbed that. And I will I'm going to, I mean, how about this? We're gonna get Drew because we've this man is a world famous celebrity who won an ape now. So I don't know, he's making time for the little people, Cap and Steve, which we appreciate. But I think we can maybe we do Drew's claw spin here, and then maybe I'll do my silver live on Coffee with Captain. Maybe I'll save it. I don't know.
Here's the quick shout out to Frosty for Ape Control and just continually updating this thing. If you're looking for data on ApeChain, well, first of all, you should be following Frosties, but yeah, so far there's been 272 wins, a bunch of Ghost Machine, some ApeCoin, DSNRS, Zards, Frostbite, Chumps, Clutch Puppies, Rillas, Globs on Apes, Bush Babies, Other Deed, Back in Bloom, obviously the big ape. But yeah, pretty nice dashboard here to see.
I think the Other Deeds won as well. Like I saw a few people post their Other Deeds.
Yep, looks like one Other Deed so far. What was the mystery prize? Do we know what that was yet?
It's a saw puzzle piece. If you go to the special part, no one knows what that is, but they said it's not what you think it is.
I like it. Dude, this is fun. Again, I will take my cap off to the ApeCoin team. We've said positive things about them, working with them and, sort of having, doing deals with them for the Coffee with Captain, partnership. Again, Alpha, assuming that we get everything done this week and there's no,
it's gonna get done. We're gonna do it. No, we're gonna
Monday.
We're gonna kick it off Monday.
Monday, we're kicking something off, and you're gonna want to be here for that because we're
it's not excited. An ape, but it's not an ape, but it'll be if you're excited about any of these prizes, you'll be excited about tuning in daily to Coffee with Captain starting next Monday.
Daily, our listeners. So that'll be exciting to do, and we're also working. Hopefully, fingers crossed, have another one out where we're basically doing deals at this point where Cap and I at times aren't really getting as much out of it, but we're getting it for the audience. So hopefully getting some good stuff there. But let's do this. I'm gonna pull up the BZ Claw. I don't even think since it's a quick one, we probably don't even need the background music. But I'll play us in with the Coffee with Captain. Drew, we're gonna do a draw. We'll do a live keep or swap for BZ, and then we'll go from there.
Coffee with Captain. Give that claw a spin. Raw to grills from BC. Prizes within. Mystery and magic. Where to begin? Coffee with Captain.
And yeah, I mean, anybody who has played Clawfy with Captain, as you know, it is the BZ Claw Pull. They introduced their TCG 50. These are high-end sort of collectibles from the Pokemon universe. You can see the odds. Ultra rare. We had one of those pulled on here for $501, which was awesome to see. The rare 251 to 500, 101 to 250 uncommon. So basically, getting plus EV is about a 1 in 3 shot or so that you get, something like that. But really just again, like, seeing some really positive EV from this. Also, I'll at some point I'll have to do a whole breakdown of this, but the flow reward system that I'm participating in, I am working my way up to an iPad, so there's things you win by doing this. But right now, we're going to do a poll for our buddy NFT Drew and see if we can make his day even better after winning an ape yesterday. So I'll go ahead and sign my transaction here. We'll let the claw poll go in progress. Again, it's going to go in poll. There's some really good grails in here from our friends over at BZ. So let's see what we can get going for our guy, Drew. And again, one of our favorite segments, because we were able to just give away things to our listeners and let them collect. So, and had quite a few collectors collect. So pulling it out now. We're dropping, and all right, $34. Drew, you got, excuse me, you got a 2023. Drew, you got a 2023 Japanese Pokemon 151, Jolteon 135, $34 swap value, a little bit less after fees, but do you want the swap value and I can send you to the USDC, or do you want the card?
Oh, dude, I'll take the card.
Awesome.
All day.
Love that. Love that. Collectors collect. So there you have it. This card will be going to Drew. So Drew has won an ape and a nice Pokemon card. So send me, just DM me your BZ address and I will send it your way and get some people going. So thanks, Drew, for jumping up and sticking with us. I know there was a little bit of a long tail on that, but probably all worth it. So a couple of good wins in the past 24 hours. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you. I totally forgot this. So appreciate you guys. And Machiavelli, it's your birthday, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The 19th anniversary of my 21st.
What's your...
Yo!
They actually score out?
Yeah, I'm not telling my real age, but yes, this is the 19th anniversary of my 21st birthday.
It's a big one. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
Yeah, welcome to the 4th floor. We
actually, like, they say 40 is the new 21. So, or I'm going to go 45.
So I feel like I'm in my 20s. So, I did a cleanse at the beginning of July, and I'm down probably like 30 pounds. And like, I just, I haven't been eating no fast food or drinking on a regular basis or doing it. I'm just kind of getting back in my thing. And like, I feel like I'm in my 20s again.
That's awesome, man. And I'm not going to out you. It's not my place to post private DM pictures on the timeline, but I'm proud of you. I saw some before and after pics, and our guy Machiavelli has been getting after it, and much respect. Love to see it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, send me your wallet address and
you send me a Bored Ape with
silver ball. You can do it now, and you'll hopefully win some.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will. Thank you so much, Drew. And yeah, I'm about to. I got to walk out the door right now to take the little one to walk him to kindergarten. But I listened to you guys on the way there, so maybe I'll send it right when I get back.
Right on.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Hey, also, Steve, I don't know if you saw this. Shout out to Otis for the update here. If you've been struggling with InfoFi and you want to get to the top of the charts, all you have to do is win a Bored Ape and post about it, and you become #1 overnight. Congratulations on that move as well.
Love to see that.
Easy,
yeah.
Easy good.
Wallchain, by the way, Cap. Oh, Cap, kill the music. Wallchain, by the way, I just announced a $200,000 campaign for a sort of set of dev tools that they brought on there as well, Covalent. So Wallchain entering the chat, I think, with some good InfoFi as well. So there's opportunities. And like, I know people talk about this, but as different algorithms work different ways, there really is an opportunity to get involved and be successful out there in the InfoFi streets with some of those campaigns. DeFi, I think, is getting more and more. I even saw Legendary this morning talking about DeFi thing where it's like you make money, you make yield on your money, and then you also get airdrops in a bull market. It's a beautiful thing. So A lot of opportunities out there.
Before we move on, I will just keep it real, and I'm enjoying it. I also struck out yesterday, did a bunch of spins and won nothing. I was okay with it because I didn't actively grind the spotlight. I finished like 500 or something, so I did get a silver ball, which you saw I just spun. Not that anyone's upset with Drew winning. I have seen a few of these where I'm not saying they're crying in the casino, but for people that were very active in Spotlight Season 2 and have struck out, I feel their pain. I will commiserate with them. My candid feedback to the team, and I'll share this, on the Telegram chat as well, is if they were to do this again, I think probably a good idea to guarantee a prize for any gold and silver balls. The multi-balls, sure. Most of those are going to be no prizes. There's just no other way to do it. But I think for someone that was active in Season 2, I could understand how it's a little deflating after you do the whole thing and to get nothing, win nothing, because you had poor RNG. So I hear you. I'll share the feedback, and I'm not flooding. I'm not complaining. I love it. I do, and hey, they heard Season 1. The frustrations were around, the better randomization for Season 2. They did that, not just on their own, but they worked with Proof of Play, who we'll talk about a little bit more here in a bit. And I think they'll hear the feedback. I can't guarantee it. Like I'm not calling the shots over there by any means, but I think it's a reasonable ask to those who are actively playing and actively, maybe it's not all, maybe it's the top 500 instead of the top 1,000. But I think those that placed on Spotlight and were actively participating throughout the season, I could see I'd be a little deflating to come up empty. That said, you can keep grinding the 500 multi-balls a day and maybe run pure, maybe get lucky there. But I feel it is a little time consuming, and I feel the pain. So just want to acknowledge that. Diablito, we hear you. You're not the only one. I did see a few others. Imagine being, I can't remember the name, but imagine being the guy who sold his gold ball to Drew for $600 or $600.
Yeah. I mean, look, it seemed like a really good idea at the time. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, even
and Jordan has a great counterpoint here. Had the gold ape not been won so fast, those gold balls would still, you could have, even if you didn't want to spin, you could win by selling it. I mean, $600 is no joke. I mean, that's a pretty nice reward for playing any sort of Spotlight season. It just so happened that the RNG gods were in favor of our friend Drew on day one, and it took a little bit of the expected value, or a lot of the expected value out of those gold balls.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, again, like that's what I would say to people is, or Dort grinded pretty hard. The ball mechanic is cool. Right. And I think the lottery mechanic is cool. I think it's cool to see them doing this. So I think this can be an ongoing potential reward system. Like if I am ApeChain, I am thinking about how I can incorporate this into everything I do, because it is a continual lottery mechanism that you can get, make plus EV for your whole ecosystem and drive a lot of actions. Like we've talked about pack grips and lottery mechanics on ApeChain since it launched. So I mean, you know how long we've been talking about lottery mechanics for ApeChain, Cap? We used a comparison to Doodles and their rip opens. That's how long ago. Remember Doodles? But no. Kid, we love the dudes. I love the art. I do just love the art. It makes me feel safe.
I do agree. I mean, in Doodles news, I think it was a wise move to get away from dark mode, which wasn't a thing. I don't even understand what that ever was supposed to be, but I do think it's wise of them to move away from that to their actual IP for the dude token. I don't know if it's going to matter, but I think it makes more sense.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do this. I'm itching. I also want to kind of draw my silver ball and see what happens, but I might save it. For tomorrow. Maybe that's what we'll do and see what happens in the next 24 hours. Let's do the daily market update, and then we can get into a couple pieces of news before we bring on our friends at Spoiled Banana Society, which I'm excited to talk to as well. But let's do that.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on ApeChain, we bringing the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. ApeChain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
It is time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Yeah, I got a. We're gonna do a quick market update, and then I've got a quote from another post that I'll share as I wrap up here. Let's starting with NFTs today. Big I Rebellion. It's on mainnet. No idea what it is. Only 69 sales. So even though the low floor price, I don't think it's an OpenSea farm. Guessing it was a free mint. 580 ETH in volume, leading the way is no joke. GMs. Is this the same GMs from years ago? I'm not sure, but also only 97 sales on 500 ETH. So that tells me both of these have some wash trading going on somewhere, if I were to guess. Moonbird's down 5% of the day to 3.29 after almost touching 4 just a couple days ago. If you're long Spencer and team, could be an entry point here, although could also be a falling knife for until the next catalyst. But kind of surprised it's down on the day following proof of, what are we calling it? Proof of ownership.
Yep.
On Kaido there, but it is what it is. V1 CryptoPunks flat at 3.89. Azuki up almost 1% to 1.9. Meebits up 21% on the day. That must have been me going back and forth with Sergito over the weekend that drove that surge. A kid, I don't know why. Anyone know why it jumped? Oh, I know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. We're gonna do 2 quick deviations here. I'm gonna show the post because this is pretty cool. I would like to see more do this. In fact, talking about raffles and stuff, this could be something that this very well could be something that I could see ApeChain doing with apes, with mutants, with punks maybe. I think it's a pretty cool mechanic. So I will promise we'll get back to the daily market update here in a second, but this is very much so worth talking about. I feel they're calling it Meebco upcycling trade. The first one was executed last night. You basically can trade Meebit or Meebits for an upgrade. This one traded 6 Meebits for an elephant Meebit. So basically upgrading into Grails. Oh, look at that. Look, who's this guy? Who's this guy right here? Looks familiar. Dort in the Meebit blender with Bailey. This is what they announced yesterday, though. Introducing Meebco upcycling program every day until September 7th. So about 3 weeks. Meebco will trade up to 1 Meebit from our vault for floor Meebits of comparable value, giving holders a chance to upcycle their collection. Full details in the article. I'll just go ahead and pin this up top in a second if you want to follow along. But I kind of like the mechanic, and it obviously had a good impact on the market. Floor price flew up as many more looking to do something similar. If I read that correctly, it's only going to be 1 a day, so it's not just going to be a free for all, but people positioning to get some rare Meebs and cool new mechanic.
Yeah,
may not be revolutionary per se, but I back to real builders getting rewarded. I just love to see new stuff, new experimenting on chain, whether it's a Wheel of Fate on chain raffle with our balls, or in this case, an upcycle program with Meebits. I'll pause there, get a quick thought or feedback on you for the upcycle program, Steve.
No, I like it. I like the idea. It's creative. It's interesting. And like you said, gets the people going. And I think I'm all for anybody who's doing anything that actually has some level of value and interest to holders that's a little bit different. Like, I'm all for people that are actually doing things versus, I think so often we see, we talk about slow, lack of updates, don't know what's happening, building behind the scenes. Maybe something's happening. Maybe something's not. I don't know. It's cool to me. It's like, this is the type of stuff where I'm like, awesome. Enjoy that. I like the mechanic. Have some fun with it. So I think it's cool.
Yep, same. Little Pudgy's down 1% to 1.4. Punk's flat at 51.5, and Pudgy's down 1% to 12.69. We will scroll down here a little bit. I don't think anything. Oh, Light, probably worth commenting on. It's another meme coin launchpad. They called it in the war room at like 120 million, I think. Sugar Shay, no surprise there. Ripped up to like 190. Basically, it's a meme launchpad that came out and they said they're going to spend 100% of their revenue to buy back the token. I don't know how that works. My question on when I first heard is I guess just living in a region where there's no taxes, because I don't know how you could spend 100% of your revenue buying back token and still do that. But I'm not deep in it, so that's all I got. But that is of these big movers overnight. It's showing 128 million. I think it did run up to about 190, but still up 67% on the day. I don't love it. I don't. But again, I can't. I'm talking on both sides of the mouth. If I talk about I I like seeing new things and experimentation, then I don't like it on the next side. So probably not my journey, but congrats to anyone who got in light early. Down to our leading memes. Doge down 1% to 22 cents. Sheeb flat. Sheeb, Pepe flat. Pingu up 2% on the day. Trump flat. Bonk flat. We might be entering chop season. Runes are runes. And as our majors go, Bitcoin flat at 115. ETH flat, but up slightly at 4,300. XRP up 1% to 302. Solana flat at 182. Cardano up 3% to 93. It's going to break a buck soon. I don't have anything else to add on Cardano, but just wild times when Cardano, Doge are 33 billion, and we question the validity of some of these, newer chains and tokens with real businesses behind them. But that's our daily market update, brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top, the home of the Wheel of Fate, where you too could win a Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Dude, I honestly, I think Wheel of Fate is really smart play. And again, it's early days. We've seen a great Persian early win, and I'm just looking forward to, again, if they're smart, they can incorporate this thing. I shouldn't say if they're smart, because who knows, they probably have other stuff going on behind the scenes, but knowing them, they can incorporate this into everything they do, right? And so the idea that you can start to have multiple reward mechanisms, like you posted this morning, I think you posted this morning about the flow rewards with BZ. And it's the fact that I'm getting closer to an iPad, and I'm maybe a couple months away from it. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. But the majority of what I'm doing there is just yield earning things, like stables earning yield and some other things that I'm eventually working towards. It's there's multiple reward options on Flow. Similarly speaking, if ApeChain, if Simple Farmer throws a DeFi protocol together, and you get yield and rewards and potentially money towards airdrops, if there's yield companies that are working, or companies that are providing yields and vaults on ApeChain, but also you get these balls for the Wheel of Fate is something, and they continue to keep that thing loaded. It's just an extra lever you can pull if you just continuously stay on top of that. So, or you can have seasons.
81,000 sales. They just launched 81,000 sales. It's not nothing. I mean, it's clearly there's, yes, is there a big, chase item with an ape? Absolutely. But to your point, I think there's a lot more that this unlocks. And I mean what I said yesterday, this fixes the McDonald's monopoly. And I hope they keep it going. To Dort's point, love Blast Jackpot. I wonder how Wheel of Fate can embrace the one thing that was fun about Blast. I do hope they keep it going. I hope it's beyond season 2, and that's why I will share some feedback and hopefully they keep evolving and adding to it. I too wish we could run back.
Whoa! Look at this comment. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How about Bob's trick? Kind of reminds me of NFT Red Zone. I wish we could run it back. There's a throwback for you. NFT Red Zone, baby.
Your energy if you even know what that reference is.
I don't know what happened. I thought I had a card somewhere with my ape on it. I think I was a tight end or something. I don't know, but that's a throwback. Sorry, Cap. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you'd appreciate that one. Exciting times.
Yeah. Shout out Bob and anyone else out there. In hindsight, we should have we should have kept some money. I kid. It was all good. It was a good run, and actually, not directly, but we had kind of big visions and plans. It's just very expensive to do things in that arena, and maybe some inspiration. The early days pre Billy Bats even becoming a thought in the brain of Bunchu, but good times. So people went big.
Vince Lombardi, like you said, Vince Lombardi, the ape. It was given away. You talk about giving away an ape. You gave away an ape when it was worth way more, even at the time, right? I mean, that was a several $100,000 asset at the time, I think.
Yep, well over $1 million we gave away in that journey. I have one other thing I said I was going to hit on with Daily Market Update, and then I'll let you take it wherever you'd like. I just wanted to share this because I agree. It just says my thoughts on the exact current state of the market better than I can put in my own words. OSF, notable not just the founder, but pretty stellar trader himself. People generally get scared of down markets. Personally, I don't agree. I say this a lot, but in my opinion, it's the biggest opportunity you have as a market participant. While everyone is faffling around shitting themselves, you have an opportunity to take high EV bets. It's even better as a project founder / builder because many people will be scared out of their skin to even do anything. And any bad actors obviously run off into the sunset, the first sign of strife. tide goes out, you can see you swimming naked. As we all know, things go up, then they go down, then they go up again. And when they go up again, the market always remembers the people who kept going when things were down. It's an opportunity to add more scars to your face, and thus creates those higher highs. Cheers. I'm really excited about the state of the market. Whether we chop for a little bit, we get more of a pullback. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, and if my thesis is wrong, I'll be okay being wrong. But what I'm not going to do is listen to CT and the collective doom and close my positions or sell assets that I'm long on, and then I would end up being right, and we have a face melting bull market, and I'm sidelined because I got shaken out of my positions. Nothing has changed. The thesis is still incredibly strong. Tom Lee just bought another $1 billion of ETH, and he's not stopping. Everything is all because we may or may not get rate cuts in September. Is that going to impact the macro state of all markets? Yeah, probably. It's going to be a blip. It'll be the market will it's going to go up or down on Thursday after whatever is announced, and then give it some time to get past that. And regardless of we get rate cuts or not, or there's no mention of rate cuts, I think if you zoom out, I'm extremely bullish I'm going to say the next 6 to 12 months. I don't know exactly how long it goes, but right now, I don't think we're anywhere near where we're going this cycle, and I'm looking to add to positions, not close out.
Yeah, I'm figuring out where I want to add to positions or even reallocate. Do I want to move certain things around? I'm not usually in the business of selling Bitcoin, but I'm considering moving a little bit of Bitcoin into some other things where I see other opportunity, because Bitcoin's becoming more of a traditional asset, which means it moves a little bit slower, and I'm considering taking a few risks. Not supposed to gamble with your Bitcoin, but I might be doing that. I'm honestly at the moment moving into more yield bearing assets. I'm just doing more of that. And it's like the legendary tweet that I quoted this morning about the opportunity. Last cycle, I'll pin it to the top just because I think people it kind of hit me as I was reading Legendary's tweet. Last cycle, if you were farming a lot of times, you were farming and you were losing money in hopes there's plus EV and an airdrop. This cycle, with all of the platforms that exist, you can put money into Hyperliquid. You could put money into Polygon and some of their protocols. Literally USDC, if that's your risk tolerance, earn money and move towards airdrop. And Legendary's tweet, which I pinned at the top and quote tweeted, is he said, once you've made a good stack in crypto, the play is to farm yield that earn airdrops on top of it. A lot of people underestimate how quickly compound interest accrues and how much yield you get from crypto and web versus web 2. That's just my take on it. I'm doing a lot more of that right now. So it's even if we chop, move up, down, or all around, I'm going to be sitting comfy in some yield positions while you're in airdrop. So something I'm definitely looking at, but OSF's tweet, I appreciate.
Yep, I agree. Matoshi asks, are you guys minting Cerebro HQ tomorrow? I'm not. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't tried to get a whitelist or allow list, but I've not been following it too closely.
Yeah, for sure.
7,000 supply. It's 0.08 mint. Public sales in 500 though. So I don't know. It'll probably be a cook. I hope it's a cook. I've not. I don't know. Maybe someone convinced me that I should send some DMs and try to angle for some allow-less spots today, and I may do it.
I probably could have gotten a allow-less spot. I just was lazy and missed people talking about him. Truth of the matter is, for me, it's look, I appreciate a good mint and a good cook, but I feel like it's one of those ones where it's basically like a NFT to be able to look at your portfolio. I don't know. It's cool. Some cool people I know have invested in it or involved in it, but I think some of the high profile investors are driving some of the interest in value because they'll use the platform, they'll use the product, but I don't know. It's probably a cook. I missed a cook the other day on something where I forget what it was, but I was on an allow list, a first come, first serve allow list, missed the mint, did mint, would have, made some money, but we'll keep an eye out for those for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably missing that one. I know we got Spoiled Banana Society coming on stream here or coming up the stage here in the next 5 or so to talk a little bit of SBS, which I know you are excited about. We talked proof of burb ownership. Again, we talked rate cuts and that. Thoughts on no rewards for rec drinks?
I don't really have much thoughts either way. I think it's fine. I think it's probably a good test. And to Dort's point, I think it was Dort, maybe it was Von Frunten. They are doing their smallest drop yet as far as units. Jupiter was 2,200 units base. It's just going to be 833 units. 833 units divided by 24 is only 34 cases. Like, it's going to sell out instantly. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's, I saw some people lamenting on it, though. So for people who missed it, basically they're doing a partnership with BAYC. They say there's no reward for this drop, which probably means no drank points. Definitely means no rect being claimed from there, which has been like one of the things everybody says, like, oh, I bought my Jupiter drops for $160 and it's worth $1,000 now. And that won't exist for this one. It's a good product. I think it's probably a test to see how well they sell out without the rewards. I also think it's probably potentially a test for, like, if I was a retailer, I'd be like, can you prove that you can sell without giving away crypto? And potentially a partner there. And
that's what I assume. And so I think it's wise that they're doing a small drop like this. I mean, 35 cases is it's given. Like, someone, like I don't know what they're going to limit. You can only buy one case or something. I don't know how they'll do it, but drops tomorrow at noon. Details below. I'll pin this up top for anyone listening to the spaces, but pre-order exclusively on rec.com, 833 units worldwide, $69.99 plus shipping, free shipping on 5 cases, depending on the region. You can pay in crypto or fiat. Cases are 24 cans. Orders are limited to 25 cases. That's got to be, so it must be 833 cases when they say units, no?
Yeah, I would think so, because otherwise it's like you're basically selling the most limited product ever. So it has to be
2 people could buy. Yeah. Multiple orders can be placed by 1 person. No rewards for the sale. Hey, man, that's part of it too, is people who have really wanted to get a case, they're not gonna have to worry about, like, hopefully they should get one now since there's no rewards. But I'd like some clarification on 833 units. I have always understood units to be actual cans. Like, when they talk about they want to sell 1 million units in year 1, but unless my math is wrong, it doesn't make any sense if they're only selling 34, 35. It's got to be. It's because 833 is not even divisible by 24. So 833 units must mean 833 cases.
Yeah, it's got to. I think it has to. And yeah, I'll probably buy another couple. And see if I can get myself some more. It's a good product, and it's a good product to tell people about. And I'm here to support the people who are actually doing stuff here personally. And by the way, on paper, if you just look at it from a pure bag standpoint, you're still pumping your bags when you buy those cases, because you're helping Rect, you're helping show what it brings to the table. By the way, Von Frunten says they want to sell 1 million cans. Each drop is counted in cases. And then said, can we talk about the fact that Rect has built an identity around this chalk rough style art? Immediately recognizable and distinct. Yeah, branding matters. Like, it's one of the things I always feel like I'm taking crazy pills, and I've just given up the fight on it, that anybody cares to talk about branding, comms, and marketing outside of a few very small handful that do it really well. But yeah, I agree. It's a great opportunity. It's a great usage of branding.
Quick digression. Just looks like Monad is mainnet's coming soon.
I'm not getting anything there. I've done nothing on there. I'm not claiming. I can now start claiming my Burb testnet, I guess, stuff now that it's not in. Now it's in a wallet that I use. But yeah, I just yeah, I think I'm probably getting nothing from that. I just haven't participated. I don't even know what Monad, like, what's on the testnet that people are excited about, what dApps are coming. I haven't even followed closely. Like, I'm definitely more excited for Mega ETH. I know Monad's probably going to be a big one for a lot of people, but not my journey of where I'm participating.
Mega ETH had a pretty good technical update. It's above my pay grade. I'll put it up top for anyone that is super technical. It seems like a pretty big deal. I'm just not. Again, I read it. I attempted to understand it. my summary is good tech. Several key innovations, push scalability to the extreme, eliminated the bottleneck of updating state roots beyond what reimplementation can achieve. There's a full breakdown here. I'll pin it up top. It's the founder talking about it, but SALT is what they're calling it. It's essentially a brand new authenticated key value store that replaces EVM's Merkle, Patricia tree. Again, I already know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to pretend to know what this is other than more details on why it's good tech and why it's optimal and part of the power of Mega ETH, and while they'll be one of the top performing EVM chains once they launch.
If the nerds are excited, I'm excited. So good for them. But no, I'm more excited for Mega ETH than Monad per se. Like we have a lot of things coming down the pike, and I think we have that. There's obviously an abstract TGE. It's just I'll be interested to see. I mean, hopefully we get some rate cuts. Although again, from an economic standpoint, I understand why they would not cut rates. With inflation going on in September, maybe it's set for October, and we go down a little bit in September. I've been actually not using I've not been LPing because even though it's been chopping, which would be perfect for the past couple of days, I think depending on these rate cuts, we're going to go up or we're going to go down. And I don't know that I want to be really sliding one way or the other. Like I kind of want to just sit and solve for a
minute. Yeah, definitely going to go up or down or chop. That would be the one of those three. Is I guarantee it's going to happen.
Well, right, but I think the reason why I'm holding at the moment is if we get news out of Jackson Hole rate cuts are coming, or we get some dovish commentary, then Sol's going to go to 205 in a straight line, and I'd rather be holding the Sol. If it goes bad, well, then I'm going to be sliding out of the Sol into USDC, or sliding out of USDC into Sol, and I'm basically going to be dollar cost averaging down the wrong way. So I kind of want to just sit pretty in that position at the moment. But yeah, I could see a world where it's October, November gets a little silly, and right now it's just not quite as silly.
Last reminder here, news update on today before we shift gears. And I'm going to need to do a quick mobile stream drop. If you don't mind giving me 30, 60 seconds of air cover. The Peanuts pre-sale will start in 4 hours or 3 hours from now. Actually, the G's holders any delisted G's holders are in phase 1. I don't know much more about, I believe G's are getting some allocation. Here's the overview. I should have probably done this before the show, but anyways, just wanted to call attention to that. If you're a G's holder, phase 1 starts in 3 hours from now. So keep that on your, put that on your calendar today.
Yeah. If you're
G's, I'll pin this as well. The full breakdown, if you want to read about it. There's a big paper on what it all is. For the sake of time, I won't read it all now, but you can see G's holders at noon Eastern. Community is tomorrow. First come, first serve is tomorrow. Next setup is on the 21st. Peanuts claim on the 21st. I don't even know what Case.Fund launch is, and then G's Bank launch on the 21st. So flat curve versus bonding curve. Again, I'll just pin this up top, but just wanted to make sure if you're in that ecosystem, don't miss your pre-sale today if it's something you're following.
Yeah, I need to figure out if you can go to your mobile stream drop. I need to figure out if there's a checker for anything on there for sure, because I want to see if there's anything, because I do know I have a G's. I've held and moved a couple around. I've got sort of the badges, the OG badges. So curious if there is a checker going on. So if anybody knows about that, let us know. I haven't been participating quite as much. I see the utility powerhouse of ApeChain on their pre-sale site, and I'm trying to see if it says anywhere if I have an allocation or anything like that, but don't currently see that on the site. But we'll be looking around. It says whitelist status not eligible, even though I have one. It says max allocation. So I don't know if there's an allocation or if it's just a pre-sale. I thought that it was going to be a airdrop, but I know they got something going on there. So G's drop coming as well. We'll hit on the Pirate Nation following our interview and see. This is what Dort's asking. Is it a claim in addition to pre-sale? I thought it was going to be an airdrop and a claim, but I don't see anything on the site that indicates, as I'm looking at it right now, that it is a I don't see anything that's indicating to me that this is a yeah, I don't see anything indicating there's an airdrop. I just see claim and buy. So who knows? We'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, we'll talk Pirate Nation maybe on the back end of the interview. Figure out what this looks like. But yeah, a lot of stuff happening on ApeChain.
They've got a lot. I mean, there's kind of a lot here. It's not. I mean, they clearly put some thoughts into it. Staking rewards, burn mechanics, upgrades, games, casino integration. So it is going to be a actual utility token. 70% is going to liquidity pools, 30% to market makers, no vesting. Each G's NFT gets 1,000. So there is a claim. If you're holding a G's NFT that's not listed. Pre-sale 100,000 peanuts. The max supply is 5.5 million. So not a lot allocated to pre-sale relative to the total supply.
By the way, are they doing it? Do you think they're going to do a wallet connect on the base thing? On Rect? I asked because I'm a dummy and wasn't paying attention to my timeline. And of course, I booked my float take for noon tomorrow. And so basically, I may be floating when Rect sale goes live. So I might miss the Rect base pre-sale or Rect base case sale. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm able to do everything via mobile, but I don't have mobile wallets and I don't do that jam.
They said you could buy cash or fiat. So I assume you'll be able to, even if you can't get your wallet, you should be able to buy with a credit card.
Yeah. I hope there's not rewards later that they're faking though. And then I like buy and then I don't connect the wallet. But of course, the first time I'm like, you know what? I'll try this float tank thing. I booked the time for when a drop goes that I actually want to be involved in. I'm horrible at this, but it says let's go a claim. It says Dort.
Talking about G, it is a claim.
Yeah, sorry, I just said I was looking at the Rec thing for a second there. I didn't. Yeah, I'll look for when that happens. So okay. Well, we'll get back to that one. But Cap, in the meantime, I'll hand it to you because I know you're just tickled that you get to talk some fantasy football on top of the fact that you can talk about crypto. So I'll hand it your way.
Yeah, no, excited about this one, and not just going to be talking about some football today. After the show, depending on when we wrap, but I heard audio glitching. I just want to quick check. Everyone still got audio okay? After the show, I will be I'll announce it when we wrap up, but I won't be too long. I'll just need to this recording has to upload and then I'll start another stream. I'm going to be doing a few drafts today. So anyone that is interested in joining along, it would be a fun day to get, not that it'll be exclusive, not that it'll be only, it won't be just Coffee with Captain listeners and DGen members, but it will, be fun to have a good room in there. And we'll get into what all we're talking about here in a second. But yeah, for anyone that's into fantasy sports and would like to draft with us, be streaming at least one, probably a few drafts following the show today. But without further ado, getting ahead of myself here a little bit, really excited to have Richard and Boris join us today. We talked, Steve, about, yesterday, just talking about how Wheel of Fate, it fixes, McDonald's monopoly. It's just, it's better solution on chain. You can't convince me otherwise. I'm someone who's been playing fantasy sports for years. It was my side hustle prior to finding Web3, primarily DFS. And I've been playing season-long fantasy since probably not even probably. I've been playing season-long fantasy longer than people like Thread Guy have been alive. So I have goes way back. Been playing best ball since it launched on Underdog. Might have played a little bit of best ball a few years prior to that, but best ball launched on Underdog about 5 years ago, and been playing quite a bit, a few hundred drafts deep this year. And with not blowing smoke, not just saying this because they're on the stage. This is a great example where blockchain tech simply makes for a better product, and no one can convince me otherwise. Right? You may have a thought or a feeling on the scoring system or the roster size or the pod size, but what it unlocks, what the tech unlocks, Bunchu can attest. I told Bunchu in a text, I'm going to see if I can find it. I had a great call with him the other day, and my takeaway, it wasn't related to this, but my takeaway after the call was I said, man, I'm going to read it just to make sure I get it exactly right. It was essentially I'm convinced, Steve, that all of fantasy sports will be on chain. I love it. This is I wrapped up a call. I immediately responded, I said, love it. Biggest takeaway might be I'm convinced of all fantasy, DFS, and sports betting eventually goes on chain. And I mean it. So I share that background, not that that's directly related to this, but it is, because we got a couple of founders on the stage with us here that had this vision. They've been, similar to myself, passionate about football and fantasy sports, and something they wanted to build for a while, and they're doing the thing. And are they the biggest best ball site in the world? Not yet. It's the best product as far as what you can do with the tech and things that you just can't do off chain. So without further ado, Boris, Richard, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate you being here. I'm obviously a spoiled banana bull ambassador. Love what you all are building. I use the product. I play on the platform. And for everyone who's been worried about, is Brian Robinson getting traded or not? Maybe we just jump right into it and tell us why you don't have to worry, and you're going to get points for Bill or Brian Robinson or Eckler, whoever is that Washington RB1. Your style, your approach, certainly unique. And then we'll get into some more of the stuff that On-Chain unlocks. But GM, we'll go Boris. Boris, welcome, and then we'll hit Richard next. I shouldn't assume that everyone is aware of you, and anyone that's been around OGs in the Bored Ape Yacht Club and crypto and Web3. But you mind just before we jump into all things SBS, just quick background, fill in any gaps there, anything that I missed in terms of how Spoiled Banana Society came to be, and by way of any introduction, anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, and good morning. Thanks for having us. It's a little early for Rich and I, especially Richard. Richard's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But we're so beyond grateful for you to have us, and that introduction was just legendary, man. I don't even know how to fucking follow that up, but appreciate it so much. Yeah, man, we've been here since 2021. We created it in 2021. So I think I literally created the company first, and then I got a job, I think a couple of months after, with Yuga. So it was like a whirlwind of just intense highs and excitement. And, it was just me and my brother. We joined the space. We joined, the space, and we're like, hey, like, we wanted to create an on-chain fantasy football company because we ourselves wanted to play on-chain fantasy football. And we really didn't see that out there, and especially the games that me and my brother wanted to play. So we created it. And, since then we've given millions in prizes. And 3 years ago, we decided, okay, like, on-chain drafting, that's where it's at. So we created the first and only on-chain drafting platform in the world right now. There's still, we're still the only one. And it's a best ball contest. And, every year we've grown and grown and grown. And so even this year, so for example, last year we did 500 drafts, and this year, we surpassed that by a lot. We're already over 800 drafts, and, we're hoping to clear a lot more than 1,000. And, you spoke about the Brian Robinson thing. I think that's the cool aspect. So not only can you buy and sell these teams, and it's in crypto where the price pool can go up, and there's a lot of different gamifications that we've added that we can go into, but we also do team positions. So for example, in best ball, you draft Brian Robinson, and then he gets traded or he gets injured, and you're fucked. You're pretty much fucked with your teams most of the time. But for us, we have, Washington RB1. And what that means is you get the highest scoring RB that week. So, let's say Eckler goes for 12 points, and you get the rookie that goes for 30 points, and Robinson gets even traded, and it doesn't really affect you because whoever scores the highest points that week for that position, you get. So, your teams are always good. Yes, if Jamar Chase gets injured completely, your teams aren't the best, but you're still there because someone will still score the highest points.
Heck of a lot better if Chase gets injured. Heck of a lot better to still know you're going to get T. Higgins points or whoever ends up becoming their top receiver than just getting zeros, right? Like, people who drafted Christian McCaffrey last year in their first round, they were cooked and no one made the playoffs. But if you drafted San Francisco running back number 1, you probably did just fine because Grindo and Mason were solid performers. There's example after example after example that I could give. Like Seattle, I'm very bullish on Seattle's backfield. I think it's going to be Ken Walker, but I also think if Charbonnet gets the run, it could be him. Here you don't have to worry. Like just bet on who you get to pick the team and not have to worry about injuries. And if you've not played fantasy sports, like injuries can be deflating, especially happens early. And McCaffrey's a good example. Like basically didn't play hardly at all last year, and he was a very early first round, if not first overall pick, and it's just really hard to come back from that. And it kind of can, fantasy football's 15, 16, 17 weeks long. It stinks if you buy into a draft and then after week 1, you're like, oh man, I'm drawing dead the rest of the year. Here you've extended the fun for fantasy footballers, and I appreciate that.
Means a lot. Hey, Richard, if you want to say what's up.
Richard GM, sorry for waking you up so early, buddy, but we do appreciate being here.
No, all good, GM. Boris, you crushed that, and in Bill we trust. Sorry, Brian Robinson.
It's all right. Bill is. I saw a meme this morning. I sent to my buddies. I'm gonna go grab it and pin it up just because I loved it. But it was someone knighting someone else, and it was Bucky knighting Bill. And not to get too ahead of ourselves, but I think I might agree.
Bucky Irving, the people's champ.
Yep.
If you know.
Yep. Bill's and the best part about Bill is his name is Jacory, but he apparently goes by Bill, so we're all calling him. We're all going with what he wishes, and we just call this guy Bill. But
yeah, that's legendary. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say probably getting far too in the weeds for some that may not. This is their first time hearing about best ball or best ball Onchain, and I don't want to get too deep on player takes, and I'd be remiss if we didn't give a shout out because I do think this is Onchain itself is revolutionary. I think that the team positions is revolutionary. We haven't seen it prior to this, and I'll give you an example. I'll show one of my teams here, so for those watching in, you can see kind of what we're talking about. This is the team I drafted. So I've got Cincinnati QB, I've got Arizona QB, I've got New England QB. So going into the season, I'm thinking Burrow, Kyler Murray, and Drake May. However, as we said, if one of those gets hurt, I still have whoever the backup is going to jump in and I'll get their points. I've got Miami's running back, which I like because should be Devin A-Chain, but if A-Chain gets hurt, Jalen Wright, or maybe there's a game where Ollie Gordon scores 3 touchdowns. I was
going to say, just can you clarify on that? Just because as you're whipping through this and people are trying to keep up, when you're looking at this player card, or people aren't looking at it, when it says Miami RB1, just to be clear, Boris or Richard, like if Cap has the Miami RB1, that doesn't just mean who the starter is. It means whoever is the best performing running back in that game.
Yes, whoever scores the most points. If you have Miami RB1, that's the highest scoring running back that game. And then, if he has some, for example, Miami RB2, that means the second highest scoring running back. But yeah, exactly. And like, for example, A-Chain, right? He is dealing with some injury. So if Gordon pops up and gets you the 3 touchdowns, so you'll get the highest scoring points for that week.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And maybe even a better example of that would be like Cincinnati wide receiver, where it's like you have a couple of banger wide receivers on that team, or Philadelphia wide receiver, right? Where there's 3 or 4 amazing options. And it's like, maybe AJ Brown doesn't show up and you drafted AJ Brown and you're like, damn, maybe you have, Philadelphia QB and Jalen Hurts is playing, and you have Philadelphia wide receiver 1 and AJ Brown puts up a goose egg, but Devonta Smith catches 3 touchdowns, you get that. So it's what's an interesting part is you're drafting based on it changes, at least for me. So I got to get into some drafts. I haven't done it yet because I haven't gotten deep with rankings. I've talked about Cap about them. I've talked to Fundy Ape, who's really deep in the game about him. But the reason I'm pulling this out to people is people who play traditional fantasy football think about that dead in the water thing. It's not even just that you're drafting Cincinnati QB, and if Joe Burrow gets hurt, you have the backup, or Joe Burrow doesn't play. It's like Browns QB is an interesting example because Flacco may be out by week 7, but maybe Shedeur Sanders catches a spark one week, and those sorts of things. Like, you're not worried about that, but you're also, even within a game, if you're watching a game, you're basically rooting for points. Like, and like, who doesn't like rooting for points and overs? People who bet the unders are psychopaths. Bunch you, I'm looking at you. So it's just, people who bet, it's like you're basically, if I'm understanding it, sorry, I'm just ranting. It's like you get to sit, like I watch games on my treadmill on Sunday. Like it's one of my things I do to like force exercise and not pay attention. I can just watch Red Zone and root for points.
Yep, absolutely. It's, looking at this card here, you might think Detroit running back 2. Well, that's David Montgomery. Most weeks, David Montgomery is probably going to be the second highest scoring running back on the team, but there might be a week where Montgomery scores 3 touchdowns, I'm not getting those points. I'm actually getting Jahmyr Gibbs points. But the reason why I value Detroit RB2 as a good backup or flex play is because most weeks, both those running backs are going to score at least something, right? So there's some outs there. But it doesn't matter, Steve, if you haven't drafted yet. You may just, you can, sorry for showing this card because this is probably the winner. I got Cincinnati stack. I got the Arizona full stack. I've got the full New England stack. So you may just want to not join this year because I think this is the shipper right here that you're looking at.
Yeah, you got Marvin Harrison's arms drafted in there. His his triceps are like the size of my quads. So I think like that's going to be a pretty fun stack. But sorry, Cap, keep going. I get excited, dude. Football is back. There's a guy that my brother and I play Halo with that we don't talk to. We don't know. He's just a guy that we know plays well. We play well. We'll play in the same teams. And he changed his little Halo banner to a spinning football. I'm like, football is almost all the way back, baby. We got week 0 coming up for college football. We got Ohio State playing Texas in a couple of weeks here. And then we got NFL kicking off right after that. I am just, I don't know. I'm rearing to go. And we're going to be in Vegas a football weekend to place a whole bunch of bets for Ape Fest. But Cap, sorry, keep going. I just get all excited. Football just gets me going.
Same. No, excited for the season. And this does add some fun to it as well. And it's not, because of this format, like I said, in Underdog, I'm hundreds of drafts deep in Underdog. It's not for everyone. And it's probably not that enjoyable. Like someone like yourself, more of a casual fantasy football player, you're probably just donating your money. Maybe you get lucky, but I believe this format really adds to the entertainment value of fantasy football. It does keep you engaged throughout the season, and you're not, I'm done if you get that injury. You're able to just enjoy it. Certainly there's people who are far beyond casuals that are loving this format as well. But I think for someone like yourself, if you're looking to get some action and have some fun throughout the season, I think you'd be harder pressed to find a better format than this. How the team makeup is done with these positions, and big fan. So the other thing, you talk about it being an ETH. Do you guys know what ETH was when you started doing drafts this year? The price of ETH? It's up big, right?
Yeah. So we started, it was, the price pool was around 69K. That's what it was. And I think ETH was 25 something, around 25. And then, so, it basically almost doubled in size since we launched. And I think that's, again, why we believe that on-chain fantasy football, on-chain, best ball, like, is the future. Being able to have the price pool increase, being able to buy and sell teams. Like, with the blockchain was created for fantasy football. Like, it's the perfect marriage. Like, we've been saying this and annoying people since 2021, and it's literally that. Like, it's the best. Like, so yeah.
I love it. And there's actually a lot to it. Not only is it like injuries, like you're doing weekly prizes, and I do want to get into, before we let you guys out of here in a little bit, I definitely want to get into all the incentives. And I've used this example many times on this show. You guys probably haven't heard it due to your time zones, unless you catch a recording. But I've credited Soy Banana Society with like the first internal homegrown boutique InfoFi. Like you're instead of paying the corporations 150K to get listed on their leaderboard and be lost in the shuffle, you've taken some of those mechanics and build it out for your participants, your users. And I love that approach. And we have seen a few others attempt to do something similar since then. But from my perspective, I think you were the first to really lean into the, hey, talk about us, create some content around us, and we'll reward you. You don't have to be on some leaderboard. We're gonna keep track and do that. But before we jump into all that, I did want to, for those that are curious, maybe just a brief overview on the actual format. We've talked about its team position, not players. But your roster size here, you can see you're going to start a quarterback, couple running back, couple wide receivers, tight end, a flex, and a defense. You have 7 bench players. You talk about the guaranteed prize pool. First place is 8.13 ETH, all the way down. 10th is 0.081 ETH. Regular season first place 0.01, advance in the first rounds. You've got your Hall of Fame. I'll let you talk about Hall of Fame here in a second. But even like weekly prizes. So all teams across all leagues scored and sorted each week. The top 5 scoring teams will be awarded each week. So you even if you just have 1 week, like maybe you're out, you're not going to make the playoffs, but you catch fire in week 14. And most fantasy formats that's nothing. Here you're going to get 0.1 back, which is what, a 10x? Yeah, 10x from the entry is only 0.01. So just win a single week and you're getting a 10x on your entry fee. So is there anything on the format that I kind of skimmed over here that you wanted to expand upon?
Rich, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, you know, as Boris was saying, we did you know, gamify the whole thing. So like, you know, I think drafting is very exciting, but we wanted to make it even more exciting. So when you enter a draft, there's pretty much a slot machine that plays, and you could either get Hall of Fame, like you were saying, or jackpot. And Hall of Fame, if you get that, it's the less rare one. You get to compete for even more prizes. But jackpot is the one everyone's pretty much going for. If you get into a jackpot league, the winner of that league goes to the finals. So you get to skip the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. You pretty much advance like you know, 1,000 people or something in the playoffs. So you know, just trying to gamify the whole thing. I think you went over roster size. It is PPR. You do get bonuses for a 100-yard game for wide receivers, running backs, and 300-yard game for quarterbacks. And yeah, I think you went over most of it.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love you've taken kind of like the best parts of other formats, incorporated them here, and then added your own your own sizzle to it. And yeah, just the extra mechanics, the gamification, not just on talking about it and creating content out there, but the like you said, every time you enter a league, you're essentially spinning a wheel of fate, pun intended, to potentially win even more prizes. And yeah, I've not yet hit a jackpot or a Hall of Fame league, but hopefully we do that on stream here after the show. We get into one of those jackpot drafts, because this finals is no joke. So help me understand that. How many teams make the finals? Or is that?
Yeah, so it's to be determined depending on how many leagues are, or how many drafts are complete. But pretty much top 2 from each league makes the first round of the playoffs, and then you get put into the same thing, a league of 10. Top 2 advance from there, and then round 2, top 2 advance from there. So it will be a bigger finals than last year. I think we're estimating somewhere like in the 100 range based off how many drafts we've done, maybe a little more. So that'll be kind of the finals.
Awesome. I apologize if I cut out there, Steve. I had someone power through my my do not disturb. It's my daughter, so I'm going to just text her back real quick. If I can hand the mic back to you, I'll be right back. And then I lost audio.
Oh, sorry. I love the mechanics. I love the fact that you are you're doing this in a really creative way, and it's different. And you talked about how fantasy football is made for sort of this on-chain trading aspect. I'm going to throw a complete wild card at you, because I played best ball last year, and you do a very interesting format. Like we said, I can just get to root for points. It makes it easier for me. I'm looking forward to doing some drafts and having some fun with that. Last year, I played in IKB, which was a DraftKings like, where they actually had salary-based players that you could draft. Now, it's a little bit of a different format. I'm curious your thoughts on that, and if that's something you guys would ever consider. You ever consider expanding into different formats as you continue to see the growth of this? Because I feel like this year, I feel like last year, Spoiled Banana Society was like the best kept secret in fantasy football. I feel like now I see a lot of people talking about it. So would you ever expand formats a little bit with something like that?
Yeah, I mean, IKB was really cool. I mean, it sucks that they, aren't doing fantasy football anymore. But I think what they were doing was really awesome. I think we want to do everything, draft related. I think we want to, do a lot of different contests. We want to go into weekly contests. We want to, have different formats, different price ranges of them. I don't think we would ever do like salary type thing where people aren't actually drafting. Just because we want to kind of just be that. But, we're definitely game for that. We're definitely want to go into different sports eventually. I think once football really, once this main contest really like blows up, we want to just continuously grow and add on top of that. And just, I think, adding something that we really want to do is in-season contest. That would be like our next thing that we want to do.
Any thoughts of other sports, or sticking with football?
No, yeah, we definitely want to do. I mean, we want to get into every single sport: college, basketball, golf, hockey, everything. I would say that the next the next sport will probably be basketball. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely have been our goal for a while. It just has to, we just want to, we don't want to rush anything. We want to be able to like really have a good user base and people loving this first, and then being able to just, steady growth and add on top of that, so.
Love it. We hit on jackpot, we hit on Hall of Fame. What from a 0.01, what if there's, so as let's say you have a big rush here as the pre-season kicking off, and you end up getting, I think you said around 800 drafts. Let's say it goes to 1800. What then does happen to the prize pool? I saw there's some, potentially NFTs can be one. What does that look like from a, as the thing balloons from here? Let's say you 2x your entries between now and season. What does that do to the prize pool or other prizes in there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we hit 100% of the guarantee already. So as of right now, it will continuously grow. So right now, yeah, it will keep growing. So yeah, I mean, if we hit 8, it'll be a shit ton more if we, 2x and x and etc. So yeah, and then in regards to the NFT, so we did like a big collab with like 14 other NFT communities. So for example, like Good Vibes and Bearish. So like a lot of them gave their NFTs to the prize pool, and we did a cool collab. And for example, like we just did a founder draft with the Bearish founders. We actually have something exciting that we're going to be posting right after this about Good Vibes. We're going to be doing something with the Good Vibes NFT community and the founders, which we love them. So yeah, like there's NFTs on top of those prizes that we're going to do. But yeah, the prize pool is going to grow, will grow as more entries, as the entries come in.
I love that. We can follow up offline, but if you're still taking on more, it's probably not from a dollar amount standpoint as much as some of those others you listed, but we'd totally be down to throw in some DGen passes there and do a DGen draft if you're again still accepting others. We're not going to get the reach of like Good Vibes, but totally down for something like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we would love that. We would love to. Please.
Awesome. I do see a question over in on the abstract chat here. Just to I'll answer and then you can correct me if I'm off. But he said, how many people usually enter? Definitely interesting format. 10 per draft. Then those, so the 10 that draft together, you're in a league with those other 9 other draft mates for the first 14 weeks of the season, and you compete just like you would a regular fantasy league, but you don't have to set any lineups. Like after you draft, your team, there's no waivers, there's no trades, there's no lineups. You draft and then you just get to enjoy the your matchup each week. After the end of 14 weeks, the top 2 advance to the playoffs, and then the playoffs, it's basically it's one week round, and like you said, top 2 advance from there, top 2 advance from there. But did I get all that correct?
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. So yeah, if anyone has any other questions, I know we probably flew through some of like maybe the basics. If you're not familiar with fantasy sports or not familiar with best ball, no dumb questions. Feel free to ask whatever. And I take for granted sometimes that I've been deep in these streets for a couple decades, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm talking in a foreign language. It's the first time you're hearing about any of this stuff. But yeah, feel free to ask questions. I did see we invoked a few hands. If you guys, I know you got a busy week, busy day ahead of you, but if you've got a few minutes to hang out and take some questions from the audience, it would be great. Let's go. I think Jashaka was up first. We'll go Jashaka and then Jalazo, and Depressive Hack's going to break the trend. I was going to say someone else with a J name is going to have to come up, but let's go Jashaka first. Jashaka GM. I got nothing, Steve.
I got nothing from Jashaka. Is Jashaka talking?
Jashaka.
Yeah, maybe take a quick lap, Jashaka, if you can hear us, and then come back. I don't know, Steve. We had the audio issue. I'm wondering if there was another X update, and maybe that's our simple issue is anytime that X versions are not the same, those people can't be heard. I'm making stuff up, but again, yesterday, audio issues with Space's guest. Today, no issues. I'd love to say, oh, I'm a genius. I troubleshot it and fixed it. I didn't do anything different. It's the same as yesterday. So X is just, it loves giving curveballs. Jalazo, GM, questions for the Vagners.
GM, Richard Boris. Good to see you guys. Excited to hear that you were popping in here. As the new fantasy season is rolling around, I've been trying to get my friends on chain for years. I actually got one of them minted, one of my first SBS Season 1 NFTs with me. Didn't get him as engaged year one as I would have liked, but now a few years later, would love to give him not even a TLDR, would love just the sales pitch of why SBS in 2025? Because I think this could be the real opportunity for him to finally really dive deep and onboard into Web3.
It's a great question. And I love this approach. This is how you onboard people into crypto. It's not onboard the masses. If you know someone's a fantasy football, this is how you onboard them. Show them a better product that happens to be on chain. Sorry, guys, I'll let you answer the question, but I absolutely love the question and wholeheartedly agree. Double tapping. I'm onboarding a few of my in real life friends to this exact same thing you just said because they play best ball. They play fantasy sports. I explained this to them. Their instant response was like, wow, that sounds really interesting. I'm in. What do I need to do? Like, if it's again, great question. So I don't know, Boris, if you want to take it or Richard, but yeah, why SBS? What help us onboard our fantasy DJ friends?
That's a great question. Thanks for putting us on the spot, man. Appreciate it. I'm just kidding. No, I think that's a perfect question. You know, we just believe that on-chain fantasy football is the future, and we think that fantasy football, right? It's expanding exponentially. It's growing. Everybody, like, it's, you know, I believe, like, you know, close to 80% of people play fantasy football in one sense or another. You know, everybody watches football. So I feel like that's the perfect way to integrate them into Web3. So what we have this year is we have social login, you know, where you can create a wallet. Create an account using Gmail, using X. And, you know, it's seamless, right? It creates a wallet for them. They don't even have to do anything. And then if they like the product, so for example, the first is on us. We'll give them, you know, a free draft to try it out because, you know, I think it's important for someone to try something out before they spend a lot of money. And then, you know, if they do like it, here we go. You can use a debit card. So you don't have to use crypto. You don't have to use. And then what happens is, you know, they're like, oh, okay, whoa, I have ETH in my account that I just. So what happens is they use a debit card, and it buys ETH, and then they use that ETH to then buy, you know, the drafts. So they kind of like start seeing that, even though it's pretty seamless. And then they're like, okay, whoa. I hear you guys do the buy and sell situation. So they're like, how do you do that? And so they're going to be able to, like, you know, take their passkey, import it to MetaMask, create that, and then being able to buy and sell on OpenSea. Like, we've had a lot of Web2 users do that play Underdog, that play DraftKings, that play all these things. And then, you know, it's like little by little until they're fully integrated and they're like, oh my God, like, I don't know why the fuck I thought crypto was a scam. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there's all these truths to everything, but like that we all know, and that's why we're here. Like, we believe in its future, and the blockchain does create like amazing situations and amazing products in the space, and we just believe that fantasy football makes the game a lot better for the user. Being able to, again, for the person to be able to like buy, like, sorry, we had a person already like 15x before week 1. Like, being able to like draft a team and sell a card for 15x before a game has started, you know, imagine the type of return they can make, you know, in week 15, week 17, when it's the finals. So, you know, we truly believe in that. We also believe in the gamification of things. It's a lot of fun to be able to, like, you know, every draft is really interesting, you know, being able to hit a jackpot, hit that. And then there's also promos, right? We have promos up to what Juicy. I don't even know why I said that word, but, you know, we have this thing called a banana wheel spin, right? And so, you know, for example, you hit a pick 8 on a draft. So not only do we have all this gamification, we have all these promos. So for example, you hit pick 8 in a draft, you know, you get a free spin. And so we have this big banana wheel where we spin the wheel every single day for all our promos, and you can win 20 free drafts, 10 free drafts, and a lot more. You're at least guaranteeing 1 free draft. So like, we have all these crazy and cool things that we have part of our game to make it a lot fun. And, you know, we would love to have your friends try it out. And, you know, the first one's free on us.
What's that process to get their free draft? What do they need to do? When do we?
So, you know, they can join our Discord and open a ticket, but let's just say they don't want to do that. That's totally fine. They can just DM us, you know, on the SBS account, on our personal accounts, and say, hey, you know, I'd love to try it for free. This person referred us. If you want to do, you know, we have a whole referral system as well. And yeah, I mean, we make it pretty easy. We'll, you know, help them create an account and get them a free draft to try it out. And we have, go ahead.
I was just say the referral system. This is where it comes back for me not being active in Discords. I retired from Discord this morning. I announced, it's kind of a joke, but what is the referral system? Can you expand on that? Yeah,
so the way it is right now is that like every person that you refer, you get a free banana spin yourself. So you get automatically like 1 free draft, or you can win 20 free drafts. You know, we want to make it where it's an aggressive referral system, and everything we do is pretty aggressive because we understand like the competition is hot, right? People have been playing on DraftKings, people have been playing on their own platforms for a very, very long time. So for them to be able to like come to us, learn the ropes, understand our platform, and be like, okay, this is where I want to do. You know, we want to be aggressive on it. We want to be, you know, kind in it. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you do choose us, you know, we have like a cool new user first time purchase. So, you know, you get 50% off of all of your purchases as well. And so like, for example, if you buy 20 drafts, you know, you get 10 for free. So, you know, we have all these cool promos and all these cool initiatives for everyone on board. If you're the one referring people, or if you're the one, you know, trying out our drafts as well.
It's awesome. And so when I refer my buddies, just make sure when they DM you, say I was referred by Chris or Cap, and that you take
exactly.
it back in.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Risk Brian, who doesn't like sports at all, a kid. I'm not even joking. We're talking about we're going to do a draft here. We'll stream a draft or 2 or 3 or 4 after the show. I think Riss is he's beating the SBS drum. I think daily. If I go back and check our Discord and DGen, I think every day he's attempted to recruit people for some SBS drafts. So he's a big fan and certainly a brand ambassador out there. I think he's hit on one of those. A decent spin or 2 on the wheel, and he is beating the drum relentlessly. So you got a very big fan in Riss if you've not been aware of that yet. I'm sure you are, but what?
Yeah, no, we love him.
What? So a lot there, you know, from different price structure, the way to play the game. You talked about selling your cards. Am I correct in thinking that last year's winner, like champion, was a card that was sold in the playoffs, or no? Am I thinking that right?
Last year, no, but we have had some pretty crazy sales. One of the years back when we were doing the OG product, we did have a over $100,000 sale.
That's probably what I was
and that team was supposed to win first place. It was like 99% to win, but that was the year DeMar Hamlin situation happened. So it was a pretty insane story, but there has been some massive sales for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I knew there was a massive sale. I was thinking it was the one. I didn't realize it was a massive sale and ended up not winning. So GG's whoever sold that ticket. That's that is you know, it just adds an entirely new element to the game. And it's, for those that don't know, like I often will open up if I'm playing a big DFS tournament or best ball, I'll open it up to any of my friends who would like to stake me. I don't charge any markup or anything. It's just allows me to enter more games and gives them a little sweat. Hopefully it's just a better way to do that. Right. I don't have like, you know, you get a squad that's really strong. You said you've already had people sell some of these before the season even starts and realize some pretty big returns. That's just, I just, back to my first point is, you've taken a product that's beloved. It's in crazy growth mode. If this is the first time you're hearing about best ball, it's not going to be the last. It is, I'm telling you, it is the growth sector of fantasy sports right now. DFS is kind of flat, and season-long DFS is probably going down. Best ball, though, is up and to the right. And I truly love these new mechanics you've introduced. And all that being said, is there anything I think we got Jashaka back up, so we'll go to him next for his question. And then I saw Depressifax as well. But is there anything, before we go back to hands, is there anything that we haven't shared yet about Spoiled Banana Society that you wanted to make sure we share with all the listeners today?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people watching, right, especially like in Web3, I think most people are, you know, play redraft, right? They play redraft. Maybe they do a little dynasty. Like, I really want to reiterate, like, why best ball, like, why it's the fastest growing format right now, why it's amazing, right? Like, so many of us have kids, so many of us have so much going on in our lives that, like, you don't have as much time, right, to do 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 drafts without having, you know, a lot of stress. You have to, oh my God, waivers and the lineups. Yes, like, it is really fun to do, but if you're doing like 2 or 3, okay. But if you're trying to do a lot of drafts, like, it just doesn't make sense, right? So like best ball allows you to do a lot of drafts, and then there's no in-season management. You don't have to do waivers. You don't have to trade. You don't have to do lineups. We score the highest points for you every single week, and it allows for you to do a shit ton of drafts, and for the prize pool to be big, right? It's not just like the 12-man teams that you're doing where the prize is maybe 1,000, 2,000, but here it's like you can win, $35,000, $40,000 for first place, and it allows for like you to hopefully get into the playoffs and then have that final, and maybe hopefully get into the finals where there's a massive final sweat. That's like the godsend thing that you want to do, right? Like, everybody hopes to get into the finals, and it's called like the final sweat, where you get to like, play against 100 people or 1,000 people or whatever it is, and try to get first place. So I think best ball is growing, which makes sense, because like people just don't have as much time to do a lot of drafts, and it just creates a cool and better system personally. Once you play best ball, it's just hard to not do a shit ton of best ball drafts personally.
Yeah, if you have an addictive personality, maybe pass. I kid, but you will, like, if you enjoy drafting, like your fantasy league. I've always thought the best part of fantasy football is the draft. I've always enjoyed it. Mock drafts suck because there's no skin in the game. You're not going to win anything. So I'm like, for as much as I love drafting, I don't think I've ever done an actual mock draft. Maybe one. It's just like it's
like decaf coffee or non-alcoholic beer. No thanks.
Exactly. Best ball is like a real mock draft with money on the line, and it's like, so maybe this is the first time you're hearing about best ball. If you're big into like redraft season-long fantasy, can't recommend enough. This is by far the best draft prep you can get for your home leagues. You will, since I've started playing best ball, I mean, I've had a decent track record. I'm running like God in my home league since I started drafting best ball, because I have such a huge edge over all my league mates who, the first time they look at fantasy draft stuff is they buy a magazine or buy a draft guide, the day before our home league draft. And they're just, I have a big edge there. And this is like, oh, look at me. It's just real. And I think you probably find similar. Most people who draft best ball, they perform better in their home league drafts.
Yeah, I would say, best ball drafts definitely have the sharpest ADP, out there. So if you're hammering best ball drafts, you're just, I feel the same way. I feel 20 steps out of my league mates in regular redraft leagues.
For sure. And you talk about like that sweat in the finals. Like, I had to go look because in some of these other formats, like the DraftKings Millionaire Maker, it's basically like you're buying a scratch off lottery ticket, because there's just so many entries. You have to almost hit the nuts to even have a shot to get there. Underdog similar, hundreds of thousands. Like, there's just the pools are so large. It's like your odds of actually making the finals is limited. Here, like, growing certainly, but your odds of making the finals far greater than some of those non-on-chain platforms. And you got a real sweat. Like, 8 ETH is not nothing. Like, and if 8 ETH gets to 10K, like I believe it's going to, then you're talking like, a really nice first prize, and on down the list. Like, that's also, we haven't really talked enough. Like, could it go the other direction? Sure. Personally, I love the prize pool being in crypto. We did it for our small home league for Degen last year. We did 2. We did one paid league and one free league. In the pay league, we decided, hey, it's ETH. It's going to all stay in ETH. And I don't remember the exact run up, but fortunately, it was worth, the prize ended up being a lot more than, what the entry was, what the price was expected when we entered. So again, I realize it can go both directions, but I actually, even if it goes the other way, I kind of enjoy the volatility of the prize pool personally. Jashaka, let's test that audio again.
Yep, hopefully it's
Hey,
working now.
loud and clear.
Awesome, great. GM. Awesome, love your show as always. It's such good alpha. Great use for blockchain, also what you guys are doing with Spoiled Banana. So I'm kind of a noob to fantasy football, but we're building a browser-based Street Fighter game. We have arenas, and we want to implement fantasy football style leagues. And I got a couple of really basic questions, may help other people listening. Like, first of all, what are drafts? Is that creating players for a team, or is that creating your own team? And can different teams have the same players in them? So if you create a team and I create a team, can we draft the same players, or?
Yeah, good question. I'll let one of the brothers answer, but yeah, you are, when you're drafting a team, you're basically building a team of players, or in this case, positions on specific teams. And what was the other part of the question?
Can different teams have the same players? So like I could have a team that matches your team, same players, same everything.
Not in the regular season, not in the draft. So your pot of 10 that you're drafting with, you can those positions can only be drafted once. But then when you get into the playoffs, yeah, you because it's basically each league of 10 drafters has its own set of players, own pool of players or player positions. So after you advance in the playoffs, it'd be very rare that you have the exact same team. But you could potentially, like, there'll be multiple, if Burrow ends up being the QB1 this season, there'll be multiple Burrow teams in the playoffs most likely, but it won't be very unlikely to be an exact match of a team. But yeah, once you start advancing, but no duplicates during the regular season, the first 14.
And can you trade players or buy players?
Yep, no trades, no waiver setting. It's as low maintenance as you could possibly get after the draft. It's you draft and then you're essentially done. In regular best ball, you're done and you just got to wait and maybe you win or maybe you lose. Here, it's actually worth paying attention because your team's running hot, you get good. You actually can make the decision: do I want to cash out now? Do I want to list this thing, or do I want to roll the dice and hopefully win? So this is a little more potential activity involved throughout the course of the season, because you have the decision whether you want to sell that team or keep it. But no individual trade.
Very cool, very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for jumping up. Depressive Hacks. GM, what brought you up, sir?
GM, how are you guys today?
Doing great, thanks.
So I do have a question about Spoiled Banana, but I did want to start by asking if we are doing the DGen leagues or A League again this year and what might be going on with that.
Yeah, planning to. We need to get put together. I see if we have enough to do a paid league again or not, but we may just hard pivot here and do a SBS league instead for our DGen league. Yeah, we'll do something.
Okay, cool. So this ties perfectly into what my question about best ball and Spoiled Banana is, because I did one contest last year and play in the DGen leagues and have for a couple of years. And my thinking was, even if these go terribly, which they did, this is basically like a donation to learn more so that I can do better in my leagues against like my friends from high school and college and my family, etc. Right? And somehow last year I fucked all of that up and totally shit the bed in basically every league that I had. It was a really bad fantasy football season last year. So I am looking to regroup this year, and I definitely want to do another best ball with Spoiled Banana or two. But my thing, and again, I only did one draft last year, so like obviously not enough volume in order to really get a good gauge on what's going on. But I got absolutely waxed by the people that actually know how to do this and know how to draft, and realize that drafting for best ball is not the same as drafting for season long, and that there are key differences in strategy, etc. And truthfully, like, it felt kind of like whenever I spent most of my time in Web3 and NFTs, and then I tried to like go learn how tokens worked, and I was like, okay, this isn't that different. I should be able to figure this out. It looks kind of similar. And then it turns out it's way different, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Switching different types of fantasy football formats kind of felt like that to me. So I don't want to have anybody give up too much of their competitive advantage, but I would take, one or two tips for new people that are trying not to just donate their funds again this year and actually like learn how to do this a little bit better, other than just do more drafts. Because that obviously is something that I need to do in order to learn. So just was looking for a little bit of, competitive information here.
Good, great.
Yeah,
question.
no, I mean,
Go ahead, Boris.
yeah, no, that is a great question. But again, I will say, like, we do have videos out there. So for example, so our community member Kylie, he actually created an amazing thread, I can share with you that like goes into like, if you're a new user, this is what you should do, this is what you should draft. So I would say that like wide receiver ones, right, for example, they go really fast. So I would look into that. I would try to get, try to get a lot more ones than twos. I would try to get at least 3 wide receiver ones, 3 wide receiver, 3 RB ones and 3 wide receiver ones. I would, try to look at every single position and get at least, 2 tight ends, 2 defenses, 2. I think that's it right there. But I go ahead. You want to go?
No, I was just gonna say his at is Kylie other side. He has a bunch of really cool stuff that he's created to help new users and community members, and he has lots of cool data. If you're gonna do some drafts, I would highly recommend checking them out. Continue.
Yeah, I will also say that like this is the thing, right? Like we give a lot of people a lot of information, right? Like we created a video that's pinned on the SBS Fantasy channel, right? And then our website has so much information. I mean, just like up the wazoo again. I'll say that word, but like the thing is that a lot of people they don't want to read, they don't want to watch that stuff, which is understandable, and then I a lot of us will say that like why we give the first draft for free, right? Like I think we gave you a free draft last year. It's like it takes a little bit of time, right? The more drafts you do, the more you'll understand. Okay, like these positions go fast. Okay, like here's a shark potentially in the draft. This is what he does. Here's some, there's a lot of streams as well. We can share some streams. Okay, like this is what happens usually on a person that has done well, like this year has done one last year's previous years. I would say like majority of the information is out there. It's just like a matter of like, asking the questions, wanting to learn it, and doing some research, because like in any single format, right? Even redraft any dynasty league, anything, right? You're gonna have to do some research. You're gonna have to go into like player takes or who should I do that if you actually want to win. You know what I'm saying? So like, we appreciate you. I will say that like to be able to win in best ball, like you have to most likely do a good amount of drafts, right? Like if you do a couple of drafts, I'd say chances of you winning is not that high, and there's a reason why we put the the entry fee pretty low, right? Right now it's like $40 per draft, so $40 per draft to win $30-something thousand. I feel like we feel like it's pretty good. So hope that helps.
Yeah, good answer. I would agree. Don't hold yourself to the same level of someone who's drafted 1,000 of these things. Like it is new, it's different. My recommendation would be exactly what they said, and then if you're able to tune into some streams, I'll be doing this here shortly after the show. I know I'm giving up some edge by I will talk through it, and everyone's watching the stream can front run me or snipe from me, but in this format, you want to make sure, I believe, you at least have a 1 for every starting position, right? Like maybe your bye weeks, you gotta, the Bengals wide receiver 2 needs to post a score for you. But what I mean by that is, let's say you're drafting and there's from an ADP standpoint or average draft position, there's a wide receiver that is a steal and you really should be drafting him, but you only have 1 running back so far and there's only 1 RB1 left. I'm probably going to take that RB1 there, because if not, if I have a 2 as my every week, it's going to be my start. I know there's 0 chance to have the optimal lineup, I feel. So yeah, I think being aware, cognizant of your roster build and your roster makeup, there's only 10 teams in this league. There's going to be a QB available late in the draft. So I'm not saying don't draft. I'm not saying don't draft Baltimore QB1 or Bills QB1. I do think there's some value in having those elite QBs because where the money's made is in the playoffs, and you want players that can achieve that top tier. But things like stacking are valuable as well. I don't know if you caught that the team I had pulled up. I'm not bullish on New England wide receiver 2 in particular, but in a Drake May team, a team where I've got a New England QB1, I got the New England tight end, and I got New England wide receiver 1 and wide receiver. If I'm drafting a wide receiver 2, I'd prefer it to be with my quarterback so I can complete that stack there. So let's say maybe in week 17, I'm lucky enough to make the finals. Drake May goes off for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm likely getting all those scores and giving me an edge over someone who has, maybe another wide receiver 1, but they just don't have a big week like that. So there's a lot of game theory. There's a lot of strategy that goes into it. It's why I enjoy it so much is it's not just picking the best projected player or the best projected position every time. You do need to think through, like, this is probably getting a little too deep for beginners. But you could ask me any team name and I could tell you who their week 17 opponent is. Why? Why do I care about the week 17 schedule in August? Because that's where the finals are. That's where all the money's made. So, I believe what'll probably be the optimal matchup or the highest over under the week 17 will be Detroit, Minnesota. So if I'm in a tie and I can't decide, do I want Detroit wide receiver 2 or do I want, I'm trying to think of a bad matchup. Do I want Green Bay wide receiver 2? I'm taking Detroit wide receiver 2 because Green Bay's playing Baltimore, tough defense. They probably won't be a shootout, whereas Detroit's going to be in a dome, and it's probably going to be a shootout in week 17. So that's like really kind of into the weeds, but week 17, being aware of your week 17 matchups. And then when I say like stacking players, if I do have that, and you can't always do this either. Like that New England stack, I should have some Jets players in that bill because if New England goes off, it's likely that it's in a shootout environment where the Jets are also scoring well. So even having a single Jets player, someone to be part of that stack, because you want to see a game total that goes, well over the over. And again, there's a lot of techniques and game theory you can get into. Riss has one here. Great way he explains if you're just using the fantasy book from the grocery store, you're going to see that Smitty is a top wide receiver from Philly, but he's in the same group same wide receiver group as AJ Brown. So you don't want to draft a wide receiver 2 before the other wide receiver 1 who is available that's not on such a good team. This is a great way to put it. So Devonta Smith on your regular best ball is I don't know, ADP in the 40s. You would almost, in regular best ball, you're always going to take Devonta Smith over, we'll go back to New England, it's easy, over Stefon Diggs because he's a better wide receiver, or projected to score more points, I should say. But in this format, I'm going to take New England wide receiver 1 over Philly wide receiver 2 almost every time. So that's a great way to put it. But he also go on to say, but that also means if you draft wide receiver 1, you get both Smitty and AJ Brown. Yes. So yeah, it's fun. I think the best way to get through those questions though is tune into some streams, ask questions, and don't beat yourself up if you do your first draft and it doesn't work out how you wanted it to. But yeah, press fast, go ahead and get back in here.
Okay, so last thing. Also, I wanted to note that as a Jets fan, we don't score points, so maybe not the best move there to bet on the Jets. I've lost a lot of money doing that, but
I'm gonna go against you on that one. I think I'm gonna go. They're gonna have a lot of points. I think Fields is gonna do really good. I think Garrett Wilson. Like, will you win a lot of games? Will it be good for fantasy? I think so. So I'm more of a fantasy person, the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Than anything. But yeah.
Yeah, mine's exactly the same. I love the Jets because there's not many weapons. The distribution is going to be so narrow. Fields should just feed Wilson. I mean, the wide receiver 2 right now is Josh Reynolds. So yeah, I love Fields. I love Jets wide receiver 1, and one of my favorite sleepers is Jets tight end 1 because I think Mason Taylor. I was worried because he twisted his ankle, but he is back and healthy, and I think he could be a sleeper tight end this year, and he's basically free. You can get him in the last round.
And I'll throw in my Ohio State honk talk here. Let's not forget that Fields played with Wilson and cooked in college. They cooked in college together, and they're reunited. Fields is going to rush a lot of touchdowns, man. They had a drive the other day in preseason where Fields threw 0 passes, and they just ran down the field on them. I mean, that's like he's going to rack up the rushing. He's going to rest. So from a pure fantasy standpoint, yeah, one of my favorite plays, assuming health, obviously, is that Fields Wilson combo. They just paid Wilson, and Wilson is I don't think people remember how talented Wilson is because he's had such a weird little run of things, and then Rodgers didn't like him, and then wanted to get in his guy. And Wilson's incredibly talented, and Fields knows him very, very well. They should have won a national title together. They got screwed. Won't get into it.
Just say don't blow smoke. My top exposed quarterback is Justin Fields at 31%. My top exposed wide receiver is Garrett Wilson at 23%. And
there you go, man.
And I got Kyle Williams as my third wide receiver at 18% because he's the bringback. And while Diggs is probably going to eat in the early part of the season, he's an old man. He might be dusty. So come week 17, I think Kyle Williams is the wide receiver 1 for New England. And I actually think that could be a pretty decent game stack. But yeah, I'm very bullish Fields.
I also want to know, like, everybody's so against Fields forever. And I will say that there was one year, like I think 3 years ago, where DJ Moore finished 6th overall in fantasy when he played with it. Like, that's what you can get. Like you can have like a top 5, top 6 guy, for Wilson. And they have that chemistry already. They played in college. So I just think, like, I don't know, the mad disrespect that Fields get, which is understandable a little, but like, bro, he played for the Bears back then. Come on, bro. The
Bears haven't had like a real passer in like 40 years or something. It's like it was the Bears. Like what? Jay Cutler? Yeah, Bears is where quarterbacks go to die. Sorry. Anyway, so DH. Anyway, I don't know I can't remember if you had a question that was following that up before you got us all bricked up because you basically hit the cycle here because Fields and Wilson are Ohio State for me. Fields for the fantasy guys is one of the favorites this year. Wilson just signed a big contract. So you just hit for the cycle and trying to kick the hornet's nest. But go ahead.
No, I think we just discovered in real time why I had such a bad fantasy season last year and just lost money hand over fist is because of takes like that. But my question was, is there a time where you would be doing a draft for best ball and a wide receiver 2 on one team would be better than a remaining wide receiver 1 on a different team? And if so, how do you gauge that? Like, that's what I really struggled with last year in my draft was like all of these like top receivers and running backs all fly off the board really fast. And then there's like a weird spot in the middle where you're like, okay, I don't have enough of this, but like I'm not exactly getting the best players outcome on this team every week. So like I'm just looking for kind of how you like weigh that in terms of upside on both.
Yeah, I'd love to. Rich, you want to say? Go ahead. You want to?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like just an opinion. Of course, there's a lot of strategy that comes with it. Different people have different opinions, but I would personally say almost never, ever would I take a wide receiver 2 over a wide receiver 1. The only instance, and some people said like Cincinnati wide receiver 2 is pretty juicy, but that's the only one. I wouldn't take any other ones. Even that one's pretty close to me. Like probably our last wide receiver 1 ADP, I think, is the Colts. I probably
I think it's Vegas. I think it's Vegas.
Or Vegas, yeah. Jacoby Myers, Colts also down there. I probably would still take wide receiver 1 over the wide receiver 2. It's just tougher because, for a wide receiver 2 to do well, you need 2 players to have a good game. As opposed to a wide receiver 1, you only need 1 player to do well. But of course, something like Cincinnati wide receiver 2, those guys eat every single week. So pretty good chance, they're gonna have a solid game.
Yeah, and when you're saying like who do I pick, right? Like you just if all the 1s are out, then you just go for the 2s for like. So I think wide receiver 2s are not bad, right? Like you have offenses like Minnesota and Detroit where like a lot of the 1s and 2s are going to score a good amount of points most weeks. So you got to like look at those offenses, like who scores a lot of points, who can, where is it where like the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 scores. For running back, that's where like things get shaky, right? It's kind of hard for both running backs to score a lot of points. So I would like kind of chill on the running backs. And, we all love Detroit RB2. I feel like that's one that's like pretty juicy. And there may be a couple of more, but I would just, be careful taking a lot of 2s in the RB. But again, like this is all still new. Like you can think, oh my God, dude, I know all the fucking strategies. I'm such a shark and all that stuff. But like this is still this has been here for 3 years, more so even for like 2 years. And there's a lot of strategies, and we play fantasy football because no one knows what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So there are like foundational strategies, but I feel like being able to like, pivot and be like, oh, that guy thinks this is right, but like pivoting on something is also really cool. So,
Yeah, I mean, I last year, I got myself a lot of, when I did mention the IKB one that I really liked, it was like dirt cheap with money left over, tossed in a lot of Sam Darnold, tossed in a lot of Aaron Rodgers, and they were super cheap. End of the season, Aaron Rodgers came up big as he ended up putting up some numbies, and Sam Darnold became really big for me, and I ended up winning literally thousands of dollars on IKB because so to your point about the counterintuitive strategies, I was telling some people in best ball, again, I don't have the time to do it. I don't like doing drafting as much, and for especially for non-season long, I will get involved in best ball more because I can set it and forget it a little bit. Like how smart are you at the beginning of the season matters to me. I was telling some people, Shedeur Sanders has a good play game 1. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm a Browns fan, because being a Browns fan, if you buy season tickets, it's like buying spoiled milk. You just know where that's going. But as far as like watching him play, it was like, okay, he cooked a little. Like that looked pretty good. Like, so if he cooked a little bit and the Browns need to be entertaining, like if you're doing a best ball league and you already have your Joe Burrow, your Josh Allen, your whoever, if you get a Shedeur Sanders in the last round of a draft or towards the last round of a draft, not saying it's going to work. He may not play a single game, but to your point about not knowing the strategies, it's like those little things where somebody has a theory where it's like, okay, I actually watched a Browns preseason game, which is gross. Watching a Browns game period sucks, let alone a preseason one. But I did because I try and I want to. Dylan Gabriel, by the way, did not cook. It's like if they're looking to be entertaining and you're in week 7 and the Browns are 1-6 and Joe Flacco is literally made out of dust, like at some point it becomes like, okay, well, they want to be entertaining, throw him in. Maybe he has 1 or 2 games where he cooks, gets a couple rushing touchdowns, and he gets you a score and wins you a week, and or gets you some points that pushes you forward. So I just think, like, to your point about never knowing the strategies, I never would have thought that because of Sam Darnold, I was scoring heavy last year and was actually getting some good jobs doing well in season-long fantasy. It was a theory I had. One of the best recommendations I heard from Cap, and the Cap will hand it back to you to kind of, I know we got to let these poor guys out of here who we're going to keep for a half hour. And now it's, but by the time it's almost actually their wake up time now. But, Cap's advice to me last year when I was doing it, he was like, draft as if you're right. And that was like such a weird, but often like really directional piece of advice where I'm like, cool, let's do some Minnesota players. Let's do some, because Justin Jefferson, you felt pretty good about, but then you get Darnold, you're like, okay. So it's like draft as if you're right, I think is a really interesting piece of advice to go into these drafts, because at the end of the day, like you could be very, very wrong, but you'd rather almost be very wrong and miss on some of these if you're entering 4 or 5 of them, but have that draft as you're right and then be right in the ones where you can. So Cap, I don't know. I always that piece of advice stays in my mind every time I'm drafting for a season-long fantasy, because you basically go in with a theory to be like, hey, is CJ Stroud going to be good this year again? If he does, then boom. And if not, if you're worried about the injury, then no. And it's like, it changes who you pick up and why, and different stacks that you do. So anyway, Cap, go ahead. I'll hand it back to you, and we can let these guys get out of here.
Yeah, draft like you're right. I think that's big in best ball. Again, you're competing against not just 10 league mates or whatever the size is. Yeah, you're competing against them for the first 14 weeks, but their playoffs, there's a lot of other teams in there, and you need to draft what you believe would be semi-optimally. So tell the story in your head, how it works. I mean, you're not always going to be right, but I think build your teams as such. And one big difference between best ball and regular season, because you don't have waivers, because you don't have, yes, you want to be drafting for upside, but you also can't cut anyone. So you gotta balance it. You can't just draft all rookies or positions that are probably going to be filled with rookies or long shots that because you think they might do well this year, you're unlikely to even get out of the gates. If you just you lose the first 5-6 weeks of the year, you're probably not making the playoffs. So you do have to balance call them chaperones. If you have a bunch of younger positions or younger players, you need to make sure you add a few, vets that you're very confident are going to be starting and getting a lot of volume in, the early part of the season to help get you to the second half of the year when a lot of those rookies end up breaking out. Good stuff though. I'm thoroughly enjoying drafting season. It's 10:15 now, so probably around let's just say 11 to be safe. We'll wrap the show. We'll get the recording down. I'm going to take Duke on a quick walk because I want to give myself a little bit of time. That way I will grab a quick bite to eat, and because we'll probably end up doing a few drafts back to back to back. So if anyone wants to join, so as you saw in Phonics in the War Room, that they have a bot. There's a SBS bot. What is that handle, gentlemen?
SBS Draft Bot.
SBS Draft Bot. That's something you're going to want to follow if you're really wanting to get in some of these. Put notifications on it, and it'll notify you when there's two or one spot left in a draft. That's a great time to enter. That way you're not sitting waiting in a lobby. SBS Draft Bot's a good tool to keep an eye on, and then when it gets close to fully, jump in there. But if you got a good room or someone's streaming, I did the other day, and I was like 3 or 4 drafts in a row, and they all filled within minutes, if not seconds, because there was just it was a lot of people drafting. So it's what I would recommend avoid or not doing is going in, enter a draft, and you're the first one in the lobby, and then just going away and doing something else, because you don't want it to auto draft for you. So make sure you're either in a spot where you can have that tab up and see when it fills to go live, or just be following that draft bot and jump in once it's about filled. Gentlemen, in any parting words, close. I appreciate all your time this morning. Sorry for keeping you so long. Just a lot of excitement about drafting fantasy best ball teams here. So anything? Let's go, Richard. Then we'll go to Boris. Any final words? Anything else you wanted to share?
Just always appreciate you guys. Having us on. Always a fun time. If anybody is into fantasy football and wants to try a draft, hit us up. We're more than happy to get you the first one to try it out. And good luck in the draft streets. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. PST, we do founder drafts where we actually get to draft against you guys. So if you want to join that one, just be super cautious because it's practically donation because we're in it.
Love it. I'm going to have to stay past my bedtime one of these Thursdays, Steve. Boris, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Again, thanks for having us. Please don't be sorry that, it's past what you guys have for special guests. I mean, there's nothing that we love more than, just talking fantasy football. And we're so fucking passionate about what we're doing. It's been a long journey, but we still truly believe that, sports, fantasy sports is the perfect way to onboard people into the space, and it makes the game a lot better. So as Richard said, as a new user, you get a free draft, try our product, come draft when Captain Zwingli is drafting, because he's not that great. You can just take his money, and it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy, guys. No, but I'm just kidding. No, I would definitely watch some streams. We have a lot of please DM us for information. As the Press of Hacks was asking, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of information on our site, sbsfantasy.com. You can join our Discord. The community is really awesome. They'll answer any questions as well. And, we appreciate you. I hope you guys kill it in your leagues and win a shit ton of money. And, man, football's fucking back, guys. Literally football is back. Is there anything better on the planet? I don't really think so. So.
Yes, sir. Love it. Appreciate y'all coming through the day. And we will be getting our draft on. I've got a few to do between now and season, and very excited. But Cap, good show today. I mean, it's always good when we have a special guest and get to go long. I'm sure you have another fantasy football DGen Bets show coming in your future. And absolutely fun stuff, and excited for this one for sure. But Cap, that said, I need to find out. I need to go in the rec Discord and find out if I'm missing out, if I buy without wallet address in some way, even though there's no rewards there. So that is a task I need to take on today, because I'm an idiot and literally didn't check schedules before booking something out of the house. And and I want to buy that rec, so I certainly might do it online. But also, like, if I'm starting at noon, maybe I'll just miss out on it. I just worry I'll be thinking about it. So, or maybe I'll have someone buy for me. We'll see about that. But yeah, any other thoughts? So we didn't hit proof of play. We can hit on that one tomorrow. For sure.
Last thing I got in passing, shout out to Young John for making me aware of this. I was not aware, but I pinned it up top, Steve. You're probably I'm sure you're on this. You're gonna want to check. There are Monad cards. I know how much you love Fantasy Top, but there are Monad cards, and some people are eligible. There's 5,000 active accounts are eligible to claim, and if you're eligible to claim, you can invite 3 other people. So you'll likely have a claim for yourself. I'm going to give one of mine to Young John, one of my nominations, and I'll give the other 2 away tomorrow on the show.
How do I check that? What is that?
It's pinned up top. Check the link up top. But here's what I'm not sure if I should take this as I don't know if this is an insult or a compliment, but I got called an unk for the first time. I'm a true OG, respected unk in the space, revered for experience or influence. Why are you still here? I don't know, man. But yeah, I guess a backhanded compliment calling me an unk. I can't. I
got a little bit better than you, unfortunately. I don't want to. You basically got called old. Mine says, Steve actually works, actually builds stuff, or reads white papers. Can't wait for ETH Denver. So I got the Buildor.
You got the same as B-Check. I just saw his.
Man, they and then signed in, Steve, and then I nominate. Do I have to do this right now? How does this all work?
No idea. I just saw it 2 seconds ago. You just got to enter their username. So once you click nominate, your deadline is August 29th. So I will do I'll do 2 more tomorrow. And actually, no, let's do it right now. First 10,000 nominator will be eligible to claim. So Machiavelli, it's your birthday. I'm going to give you one.
Yay!
Happy birthday. I would give Drew one, but he just wanted ape, so he doesn't need any more. Kid.
Yo, shout out Drew. He gave me a silver ball for my birthdays. Shout out Drew. I got a silver ball from the winner of the Bored Ape. I hope it brings me massive luck on that spin.
MAKAVELIDLA Cruz, correct?
DELA. But wait. For like my email?
No. Your Twitter handle.
Yeah. It's MAKAVELIDLA CRUZ.
Should have just copy pasted, but yeah, you're in there. You should get your, I don't know how it's going to notify you, but you should get it here soon. One more. Steve, do you want to pick my third winner? Depressive Hacks. How about
Depressive Hacks was going to be my go. Yeah, go to. So what does this mean when you nominate someone?
That they can get their own card. There's only 5,000 cards, so the other way to get a card is someone nominates you.
Dude, I love a shout out to Monad. They did a good job on these. Flattery will get you everywhere. So
all right. Machiavelli. I don't know if I put the @ or not. Probably not. I'm Young John for bringing it to my attention, and then Depressive Hacks. All nominations are final. You cannot nominate any more people. Confirm. All right, submitted. Go get your cards, Machiavelli. Links up top. I have no idea. This could be worth totally nothing. Could be nothing at all. But I have not done any research. I just saw that. I did say earlier that it. I did say earlier that Monad, it appears per Ansa, Monad mainnet is coming live soon. So if you're following along, probably worth paying attention to.
Yeah, this is a good one. All right, well, I'm gonna go post about my card. Had another post planned, but I gotta go eat, take my daughter to a haircut, and enjoy your draft. Busy day as we get this thing going, but excited to excited, man. Good stuff. And I think we hit proof of play tomorrow. My agenda for today, honestly, I want to get myself in a draft or two if I can. I want to find out my answer on my other on my rect, and then I'm probably going to plan to move a little bit more money into DeFi. I can't decide if I want to just unstable altogether for the most part or what. But moving some more money around DeFi to get some things going today. I'm trying to go hard at a couple different specific things so I can maximize my opportunity there and look for some opportunities. So, Yeah, but let's let everyone sail off in their day. I know
last one on SBS. Riss is giving away. He's giving away a SBS draft ticket to one person who buys them all in Ape between now and Friday. So if you want to support another builder who's in the best ball streets, he will give one purchaser a draft there. So Mulligan for 5 Ape could win you 8 ETH.
There you go. Go for it. Get involved. Shout out to Riz Brian. Super into it. He is here for the funsies when it comes to all the sports. Thanks for a garbage, by the way, for the tip. Appreciate that in the chat. Green Edge as well. Von Frunten, Cap as always. 69 Pangu coming back your way tomorrow on that way. So we'll continue to pass that Pangu around and move them back and forth. But thanks everyone who came through today. Talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
It does say claims for nominations open September 2nd. So Depressive Hacks, Machiavelli, you may not be able to claim till September 2nd. I just saw that. But yeah, you're in there. So have a great one.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.